Alright, folk, we are so glad that you're joining us Chasing Foxfires, our home game of Dungeons and Dragons. Before we begin, quick shout out to Syrinscape, an amazing program that helps you manage your soundtracks as well as a variety of amazing background sounds. They've been an absolute lifesaver when we were forced to move from the table to the online space and now back again at the table. So definitely check them out at syrinscape.com.
Sorry, other Donald cursed my dice after Ryan blessed them.
Yep.
Oh no.
I know. And it was my Finn dice as well, so now I'm just like, well, now I can't touch that. Yeah.
So last time, you did not comfortably yet end in Ayun. You did throw a hooray, your murderous dictator is gone party for the people that you met in the Frostfell. Sam created their magnificent mansion, but in this case created a magnificent theatre with food, drinks.
Magnificent Matt's name. Matt's name. Magnificent Matt's name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it's called now.
Yep.
And a big show of entertainment. Denarian mostly tried to find a place to sleep of the exhaustion. Finn did a Finn and just, started helping and healing, as Finn is wont to do. Whoever's got their Discord sound
Yeah, it's done.
turned
It's
on.
gone.
Okay. Between Finn and Sam, the townsfolk were a little bit more warm towards you and slightly less terrified of, to them, their potential new overlord, leader, maybe? Next, you mostly observed the local populace and tried to decide what to do with the power vacuum that you guys have once again created. And speaking to a few townsfolk, as well as Aragrego, the Dragonborn that you're somewhat familiar with, you tried to figure out where the people stood, what the local goings-ons were, and learned that the town is mostly just self-governed by the people here. They're generally so busy trying to survive that there isn't a whole lot of time to argue about leadership. You also learned that a few things that Rodrigo said didn't entirely match up. Meanwhile, under the somewhat distracted by fluffy yak gaze of Reaver, Eridrian, you, not entirely altruistically, helped out the townsfolk by casting plant growth and helped the small town by enriching what little harvest they would have. Half frozen, you made your way back to the mansion. You slept off, the first 8 hours before you really had to get out of bed and get some food. You gathered the party and believe you decided to take a few days. What I have is that Sam wants to learn Celestial with Lyra and speak to Ragrego after Nax told you that he seemed a bit sketchy.
Okay.
I have that Nex and Reaver maybe wanted to investigate the statues back at the
I
palace.
think we're going to test their limits to see what they could achieve.
As well as look into the whole power vacuum. I have Eridrian just wants to recover.
Yeah.
Is there anything, Finn, I know that you wanted to do some training.
Mm-hmm.
I'll chip in on that.
This is fine.
Is that your dex training? Or?
No, there's a wheel of flying. So if I catch it, that's XP.
Let's start with Nax and Reaver. How do you wish to approach the statues in the palace?
As in, how do we want to get to the palace? Or we
I think between the two of you,
have
you're
both super long distance.
yeah, you're
teleportation.
capable enough to bamf over there.
Yeah.
It's more of a how do you wish to investigate? What are your plans?
I think I'd like to gather as many as I can find in one place. Probably the central room, unless there was another obvious big space ballroom.
That throne room
Yeah.
where you first camped is definitely the biggest room. And if you're rounding them up, you'll find 5 or 6 functioning ones.
Right. So
Considering that you spend some time there, you do find that there are what look like broken, worn down pieces of maybe other statues that would have been there as well, but they look like they've just over time decayed.
Did we miss, just having a look about for them, did we miss any rooms or anything the last time we were in there? Because we were
No,
kind of
you-
like sort of in and out.
Initially you were, but then the day after you were pretty thorough in your search.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, you can round them all up. They listen to your command.
Oh. What happens if you ask them? And you think,
I'm like, put your hands up.
So considering you're not attuned
no.
to the trinket, nothing happens.
And I'm like, please don't shoot.
Mhm.
I'm like, dance.
Just stand still.
No.
So probably need to tune. I'm just it'd take a while to test if I have some special connection to them. Let's just assume that they tune.
Okay.
And
I mean, we could just assume that they attune to people that have like horns. Then you can tell whoever the people are. Then like, you need specifically to have horns, and then no one can fill the tower
Specific
back.
count. Yeah. Seems reasonable. I'd like to command 2 of them to attack each other and see what happens.
Okay, as you do say, they start attacking each other.
Okay, stop now.
So the moment in Game of Thrones where Cersei does the moment with Littlefinger, where she's like, kill him, I changed my mind. But yeah, just these big bulky figures, all of them appear to have the same mace club style bludgeoning weapons. And they are about to full on whack into each other. They're not holding back, they're doing exactly as you're asking them to.
Cool. Anything else you think we should test? I'd like to see what happens if we get them to leave the palace.
Yeah.
But anything else you want to try here?
I was thinking maybe like, could you see how long the command lasts for? For instance, could you be like, continually go away and come back with X or Y? Like, be like, hey, can you go gather some wood and keep bringing it back to this spot or something like that? Or
Is there any like rubble in the room or anything?
There's rubble everywhere in this place. Yes, half the walls are collapsed.
Okay, I'm going to ask one of them to gather all the rubble into a neat pile over there.
Okay, starts doing so. Starts with the bigger stones, and then occasionally it picks up these small pebbles that seem like extremely tiny in its big hands.
Just
see how long it lasts, because I suppose you could keep them going doing menial tasks infinitely, I suppose.
Do they have any obvious way in which they're like fueled or sustained?
You can roll an Arcana check if you want to have a look at them.
We'll have a look at them. It's probably a 17. If I remember my mods correctly. It is a 17.
Okay. So, outwardly, initially, they just look like big metal statues. Since you're not in a rush and you actually, you have the time to have a proper look at them, you notice that if you look closer to where the helmets are, they are wearing helmets.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that on the inside of it, there appear to be some form of arcane runes inscribed. With a 17, this is some very hefty command style enchantment.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, there's no trapped creature inside it. You can't see any clockwork as such. It appears to be purely magically that they're moving.
Can I cast on one of them sense emotion just to see if, just to kind of put that kind of put me at ease from thinking that maybe these are people trapped inside these things?
Yeah, you get nothing.
Okay, cool.
Absolutely nothing.
Sentient.
Okay.
So if we decide we don't want them anymore, we've got no plans with making them destroy each other, then
I think that's probably the most fun way to definitely.
provide some local entertainment.
Yeah.
Robot deathmatch.
Yeah. You give them all different weapons beforehand.
Cool. Yeah, I think we should maybe take one more buzz back to the village, see how that goes.
Yeah. Should we leave the one?
Yeah, we'll leave
Gathering
that one.
stones.
We can always check it there. See it.
Okay.
You RTS this.
Come here.
It follows, and it follows you out the front doors. Although it does, in the front hallway, it does have to like duck down a little bit, but follows you outside. Doesn't seem bothered by the freezing cold at all.
Okay.
If anything, it looks like this big figure keeps away whatever kind of scavenging predators might be nearby.
Cool.
After some time, you notice that the joints start to move a bit difficult, and you can see that there's a buildup of snow in them. But otherwise, it does seem to follow your command and listen.
So when it starts, I'll press the take the snow away.
Then it just continues onward.
Yeah. Take it back to the village.
So,
Okay.
so like worst comes to worst, we could maybe make them all stand in a big circle in a kind of perimeter around the village facing out the way, sort of deter beasties.
Yeah.
You should take it back with you. Entering this small town, definitely people are noticing and giving it a wide berth.
Pay no attention to your executioner.
Yeah, exactly. They're definitely making themselves scarce.
There's a point. Has it got a weapon on it?
All of them have got the same maze club style weapon.
Okay, I'll get to leave that at the entrance to the, so it's a little less intimidating.
Okay.
Axe wielding maniac.
You notice if you having it with you, it's not properly got a sheath. It's more like just a holder, almost like a clamp that puts it into that now just sticks out on the back empty.
Cool. It's like a kid's toy.
Yeah, exactly.
Half-arsed accessory.
How dare you refer to me like that?
It follows you back to town.
Cool.
Do you just leave it standing? Do you take it into the mansion?
No, I don't think taking the mansion. Is there anyone like out and about doing any kind of manual labour or anything? Any
Yes,
farming, anything mining?
there's constantly people out and about here. You can see people moving what looks like buckets of dung that they're preparing to be used as fuel, that they're trying to dry. Where Reaver and Iridian were the previous night, there is some tending to crops happening, but it's because the crops here are not particularly plentiful, farming doesn't take a lot of time. There's a lot of gathering that happens out of town.
People up at those bushes being like, the hell, did you miss some berries?
Well, exactly. If you're gonna go over there, you definitely notice that there are people being like,
Did you?
what?
You definitely did this yesterday. They're like, yeah, definitely.
Now it's going to take them 20 minutes.
I think, could we get one to walk, just like get it to walk kind of in a small circle and have Nax jump into the mansion to see if there's like a disconnect the moment Nax is in another plane from here.
Yeah. If you tell it to walk into a circle, it continues walking in a circle.
Cool.
So even when Nax goes into the mansion and comes back out?
Just
No
continues
disconnect.
walking.
Okay, so it's not like it's just a command and then it's not like a proper connection to that thing then. Okay.
The other thing, I guess, is can it react to something like if we tell it to behave in a way when something happens, a trigger.
If command.
Okay. What are you thinking? And I turn my weapon into a lance, so I have reach.
maybe we don't have to make it attack anyone, but I'm going to ask it if it gets hit by a rock, it's to go and get its weapon. Just
Okay.
that.
Okay.
No more. Just get your weapon.
If else then.
Do you then hit it with a rock, or do you...
I'm going to step out into the mansion, so you know.
Oh yeah. Get rid of the weapon, walk over, pick up a rock, and then just ding it with a rock at a distance.
hit it? Ding. It starts walking
In the direction of
the long walk back to the palace.
I hope you understand that this realize that these things are Turing complete.
I'm going to try and outrun it
Okay.
and just pick up the weapon at the far end.
Now you have magical means available. Are
Oh,
you
yes.
gonna use magical means to
Well, you said
outrun
it was walking,
Yes.
and it wasn't told to go there in haste. I'm just going
No.
to sprint to it.
Okay. Yeah, you're still sprinting through the Frostville.
Right. In which case,
The weather here isn't, I'm gonna go out for a casual stroll. This is a few hour walk through extreme frosty conditions.
Okay. In which case, I will just there.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bury it in snow,
Okay. Yeah.
and then I'm just going to like camp out and wait to see it come over.
Okay.
You pranking an innocent robot.
I'm trying to see if it like.
So this will take some time.
Yeah.
The walking back to the palace with magical means, and considering that you're well prepared this time, you're taking the time for it. I won't make you roll for
So
exhaustion.
we
per
just
se.
left its weapon outside the town.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, it's town. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never
Yeah.
mind.
That's why I was like, I guess I could teleport, but
Going
Yeah.
just out of town.
uh-huh.
Sorry, I thought you'd left it.
No. I want to sprint to the weapon and
Yeah,
cover it
totally.
in snow, and then sort of nonchalantly step aside and like start building a small snowman.
So interestingly, you see it walk exactly towards where its weapon is.
Mm-hmm.
Dig it out, and bring it back to where Nax told it to leave from.
Okay. I'll come back. I'll walk back with it. I'll be like, so you can't hide their weapons from them. I think it's part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder if
Yeah.
you can.
But it suggests to me I'm not sure about leaving this in anyone's capable or less capable hands
Yeah.
here, particularly after what Rodrigo said to me. Rodrigo.
The scaly guy.
Said to me last night, seemed a little bit evasive and not quite chiming with what other people said about him, his background and things. So, yeah, I think. But what we can do is leave them with standing orders. We could leave them to, I don't know, help with village tasks or as guards, I guess.
Yeah. You could have them like have a response to like a certain action does something. So like you can be like, if you get tapped on your head, you need to go pick the berries for the day or something like that. That kind of thing.
Serious programming shit.
Yeah. Or if you like get hit with a snowball, you have to go build an igloo somewhere. I don't know.
You
Like
see the command ! Berry.
Can we just stick him to like a water wheel and have infinite energy? That's what we do. There's
said
no water yet,
Said
there's no-
Denurian, never.
It's like you just popped into her.
High intelligence Nax has that idea.
The Denurian's like, what we could do is we could put them all on a line and just make them pet dogs forever. It's constant petting motion, and animals can just come and go as they please.
A Rube Goldberg machine for tea.
Oh god, don't mention
Oh,
it.
they got all
Bird
the
machines.
If we just break the fundamental laws of physics, right, then just it's fine.
This is
Yes.
definitely one of those. If
Magic.
if you had a terrible table, they would just yeah.
Had so have them already in action,
Mm-hmm.
and now
Here's a map. Is it here?
Yeah.
I really wish I had turned the telepathic bond back on. You were having quite.
alright.
Okay, Daenerys ready to
Morph them
leave.
into T-Rexes.
Daenerys ready to leave. It's cold.
It's not called Saturday matinee.
I'm busy.
We're still inside them. Okay.
But you come back out and like, I'm going to leave.
I'm
It's
cold.
cold. We're like, it's warm inside. You're like,
No.
I go back inside.
I want to be cold.
Greg never left. He's just looking at you like.
Ooh, the bond doesn't cross planes, does it?
No.
I am enjoying the silence so much.
Bond?
I don't know. Are you in the matinee with Sam?
Well, I'm not going to be outside, am I?
Well, and it's not silent.
Then I would have locked myself in my room and shoved my head on my pillow.
Can you just Discord leave the chat?
I was gonna say, to be fair, Oridrian's probably tired enough that even if you were serenading outside his room, he would sleep through
There's
it.
going to be some sort of like anti-charm fade bullshit that you
He's
can
got
just be
really
like,
mind
fuck
control.
off, Sam. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he literally has a fuck off Sam ring.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, any other automaton
I think we've
actions?
established their capabilities sufficiently.
Okay.
We can
So have
do
you
something with them when we decide to depart.
So while Reaver's like with Nax without the kind of party around, it's just like, so have you decided what you're doing with like the people here? Because I take it they're technically your responsibility, right? Is that the kind of vibe that we're getting?
Well, really?
I don't know. I'm just assuming that well when we done in the God King, the kind of like the people that were sort of next in line to take over and stuff, they seemed like they were the ones kind of going in charge.
Which is why I think we should leave them with the looming threat of getting smooshed to pieces if they do anything nasty. But
Right, okay.
we can, so, you know, these are here to protect you from yourselves.
Alright, yeah, so it's like a threat to make people behave not insanely and try and fill a power vacuum and start usurping each other.
Yeah, but we don't have to phrase it like that.
No, yeah. Oh, yeah. Mhm.
Marketing.
Have we got better, Aidan?
No, not at all.
God, it'd be brilliant in marketing.
I mean, I'm assuming that if we leave it just as is, that big dragon dude is just going to take charge because he's the biggest one, and I'm pretty sure can probably deal a lot of damage without any weapons. So everybody else seems to be fairly
Yeah.
unarmed.
Which is why I'm reluctant to give him the all-wielding power of this thing, and also I wouldn't trust leaving it to that someone wouldn't take it for, you know, purposes.
Because then I suppose you've got the same kind of thing where like they'll start fighting over who controls the statues,
Mm.
and you just get loads of assassinations and all that kind of stuff, and it gets a bit mucky. So I suppose if you take it with you, then
Stick them inside the portable boat.
I don't think any of them have the gall to try and send assassins after us.
Well, there's a point. We should leave a lack of behind. We might send them off to finish the work that seems to be started on that palace before we depart.
Alright.
I just have this niggle that I need to do something.
Okay. I won't push it. I got until that point. I'm
Probably
like,
left
yeah,
moving
yeah.
and making a neat pile of rubble is going to be very disappointed when.
You have to clean it up. Yeah. No, I want it over there. Should we try and get rid of that? There was the altar thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Should we do something like set up a guard that if anybody comes in there and tries to fuck with it, that's when a guard does something?
Yeah.
Because I think that's probably the thing that they were using to send all the creepy people at us.
Seems reasonable. And leave the others as watch atoms.
But who watches the watchdogs?
So the dragon dude was like, he said that he had been here his entire time, but the people said that he came from the palace, right?
What was the palace? I've forgotten my notes.
Was it the palace?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming he knows about the stuff that goes on inside there, and I'm just guessing that he's probably aware of that.
That's a good point. Yeah, I do wonder why he chose not to tell us about his chore when evidently anyone could tell us that he was, you know, not originally from the village.
Dunno, should we ask him? I think Sam was going to go bother him. So we could.
Halfway through an autobiography.
We've let Sam do their thing, and we.
So you were
tune
born in this town.
How did that make you feel?
Has a tendency to bullshit.
I thought you were going to go murder she wrote, like in a situation, just kind of go around the village investigating. Yes, we have marked.
Just the most like untrustworthy narrator ever. You're just like, yeah, Dragonborn, clearly, blah blah blah.
Yes.
Definitely evil. Wants to overthrow Nax. I've seen it in his eyes.
That sounds like a different character I have.
Could you get them to No, I was going to say, could you get them to repurpose the rubble that's in the castle to make a wall for them or something? But
They could choose to if they want.
if they want.
I feel like we'd have to stay around a long time. That's quite a complex set of commands thing to do.
If rubble and palace, take rubble, build wall. Done. Ah, no.
As soon as a construct knows how to build a wall.
You teach me how to fish. You teach me how to build construct, build a wall.
I think on the back of that, I'll go back with the one autonomon we're talking about.
Yeah.
We've got and set one up as a garden altar and get the others to dismantle the palace.
You're actually dismantling it properly. Okay.
Nice.
What is the command that you give the one that you set up as guard?
Ooh.
Something. This seems like a right decision now. Something.
Anyone who comes within 10 meters of the
Meters work for me.
No.
wherever-
I know meters better than feet.
No, that's fair.
of the altar, make them gone. Move them from
Okay.
I'm
existence.
gonna have to define those words better.
Okay. As you commanded that, you see it goes to stand next to the altar, and it stands still. But as far as your testing, has been, you can safely assume that it is probably taking active watch.
Well, I will leave a message appropriate as well on a large bit of rock in common and infernal to such effects, so that fair warning.
Yeah.
Please don't make a ruckus.
Okay.
A ruckus? No!
Very, very productive day.
Fuck around and find.
Yeah, I'm probably done.
Yeah.
I'll just sit and tune in party chat and
Okay. That same day, Sam, would you prefer to speak to Ragrego first, or converse with Lyra about Celestial and whatever you might want to talk to her about?
Choose wisely. You may not be able to do the other following depending on the result.
Take your evil away from me, sir. I will choose everything, everywhere, all at once. I think Ragrego is the... Did I say that right?
Ragrego.
Ragrego. That's the best my common time for him.
Got names.
Will be my first port of call.
Okay.
And yeah, because I'm super interested. I've never met someone like them, and I have so many questions. And so many questions. Can I persuade them to answer all the questions?
Well, let's find out.
I'm very persuasive.
That's a callback.
You can find them within the village.
What are they working on?
They appear to be helping another group of people with repairing a roof that seems to have just been, through over time, started to wear away. It's time to repair it. They seem to be working on it with a combination of what looks like mud and not straw per se, but definitely some form of dead bush branch. You think there's, by the looks of it, there's maybe a type of leather in there as well. It's a bit of a mismatch of improvised materials. But yeah, there's a group, maybe 4 people that are working away, handing each other things. You can tell that the work is going slow. They're doing they formed the Congo line where one person hands the next person something. You can imagine it's
It's an assembly line.
In the weather, in the clothing that they have, their range of motion is quite restricted. So not having to climb up and down a roof constantly probably makes things easier.
Lots of heavy things need moved.
It looks like it's more not heavy, but more just a lot of small pieces that need to go up to then be assembled together.
Cool. Telekinesis.
You can certainly help out.
The number of jobs that have been made so much easier by this spell is now 2. Probably no platinum payment for this one, but you know. I will offer to help, and then I don't know. I want to get a sense for how these people are chill with impressive magic because they know that I do it for their benefit.
It's more that they have so what you've seen so far is that they more have an attitude of almost resignation to murder.
Okay, so maybe then, instead of lifting things up with my mind, I will lift things up with my body. And just be...
I think looking at them, you can tell that they're not fooled.
They shouldn't be fooled, but hopefully there'll be more ease. Obviously
okay.
it's magic,
Yeah,
but it's
you're
not
just
like
trying
super, this is a context thing.
Yeah.
Oh, they've just made themselves stronger, not they can pick things up with their mind and crush my bones with their thoughts.
Okay. Noted.
That's where my mind is.
So you can just do it with your bare hand.
Yeah, they can run away from that.
If you help them out for a little bit, there's definitely, initially they just kind of quietly accept your help and you take your place in the line, and you definitely notice that there's a bit of a silence falls at your arrival.
The boss is playing poker with you.
And then, the conversation slowly starts back up again until eventually you do become naturally involved in the conversation. It just starts flowing again. Now, these people don't talk much when they're working. There's a lot of wind, there's a lot of snow, they're keeping their mouths covered, so a lot of the communication is loud, and you could tell that everything here just takes effort.
Oofed.
That being said,
Hard life.
yes,
I'm just composing this. A hard life in a harsh climate.
exactly.
Yeah.
But you definitely notice that the initial silence and distrust becomes a thanks. That there's maybe a smile around the eyes and gonna have a tea later. Yeah, that's short. What passes here for small talk maybe?
It's occurring to me that even though I'm using a 5th level spell to make light of it, this is probably the first day of honest labour I've done in hundreds of years.
Quite possibly so. Yeah.
Thank God I'm using a 5th level spell to make it.
I was going to say, I love how you still called it honest labour.
Yeah. You almost had a moment of introspection.
Do you know how much effort I put into gaining 5th level spell slots?
I also love the bleak small talk. Did you hear Jim died in his sleep last night? That's a shame. Oh well.
It's a good way to go.
Yeah.
That's how I want to go,
Yeah.
honestly. Freezing to death out here. Ugh.
Like
I did his shoes.
Like my children.
There's a moment where it's still snowing, and as far as you're aware, nothing's changed, and one of them goes oh, it's getting better. And you've gone absolutely what?
Is it getting better?
I mean, they're convinced it is.
There's guys in the background taking their gloves off, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Teacher, time's off!
I was going to say, it's, how 2 people in Scotland, it's 20 degrees, they're like, oh, so warm, and in other parts of the world they're still wearing their winter jackets.
Or Canadians, just...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Garvey and I in Venice many years ago.
Which is amazing because I have cold resistance and they don't, and they're still more acclimatized to this.
It's interesting, though, isn't it?
You merely adopted the cold resistance. You were born it. Immunity.
But yeah, you help them out, and definitely you notice that
The mindset.
you do speed things up. Not as much as if you would have gone full, telekinesis.
There's
but
a balance to be struck.
yeah, exactly. You help them out quite a bit, and as they notice that you are lifting well above your weight, they're they're starting to leave the heavier pieces or the more awkward angles to you. And there's definitely appreciation there.
Excellent. Good. It's amazing how easy it is to handle these really cumbersome things.
Yeah. Oh, they've noticed, but they still appreciate it.
Yes. Cool. It seems like small talk with Rakrego isn't an option, so I will invite him back to the matinee for a hot cup of tea or such, or afterwards, as an excuse for conversation. That's my in.
Okay. He kind of looks at the rest of the group and gives it a...
Obviously everyone is invited, but
Yeah, sure. I'll come along. And what's back with you?
Excellent. We get in, hand off our winter clothes to the...
One of the Sam servants.
One of the Sams. And just once my hair and horns are sorted, and I'm like, what is it like being you? I'm intrigued.
You see, they're
Straighten out.
holding their teacup, right? And they just stop halfway, and I'm like,
And then I take a tea, and I'm like, oh, this is really good tea. So warming after so cold out there.
Sam looking at it being like, 50, 56, 55-inch chest?
Yes. No, I memorised their physical dimensions the moment I laid eyes on a new race. Let's not pretend here.
Yeah.
It's just the brain I need to understand now to detect thoughts.
he doesn't really know where to go, and it takes a sip of tea just to have something to do with his hands.
Yes.
That's
why I said
what do you mean?
I mean, such a harsh climate. It's something I've wondered about. I'm an interesting species. And I'm the only one of my kind I've ever met that wasn't created on the spot just to annoy me. But that's a story for a completely different time, perhaps tonight. What's it like being you in a place where there are no other people like you?
You mean a dragon kind?
Yes.
I suppose it helps with the cold, and my hair never freezes. And you can tell he's finally taken off, the hoots and hats and everything that protects him against the cold. He's entirely bald.
Cool. Yeah.
He's got scales. Yeah. He doesn't have anything in terms of hair, as far as we can tell.
Does he have any cool
crests,
crests or anything like that, or is it just
very slick?
Right,
yeah.
Cool.
Almost a bit.
Salamander.
I was gonna say lizard-like. Yeah.
That's a slur in some parts of Dragonkind.
What you do notice is definitely noted a little bit more of his visage is visible. He is buff. He's got a very muscular jaw, and even just the neck itself, he's very muscled.
You would describe the neck as thick.
With 2 C's.
Yes, possibly.
Claws and fangs, though, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
How many, just in terms of, is it like a...
How many fingers?
He's got a working hands.
Aye, but
they're clawed hands, but they are hands.
Five little digits? Well,
Regular hands.
Do you know much about white dragons? Because he's a white dragon kind.
Yes. You once looked at a book on dragons in Grimswold, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
But I believe that was roughly where your communal knowledge ended, and enough checks have happened during that period of time that I'm not going to let you roll one just now.
I think we're proficient in black dragons.
Definitely gold dragons.
Gold dragons. Brass.
Just take everything you know about black and invert
brass
it.
dragons.
But no, you don't know the specifics about white dragons.
I'm going to assume that
ground
it helps with the cold.
Ground dwelling,
This is
alkaline.
definitely like a cold-based dragon.
Mm-hmm.
But I say it's truly impressive. I've never met a dragon kind before. I'm not sure we have them on the material plane. I've met dragons, but never dragon kind.
Well, haven't actually met any others either. And I've never traveled planes, so I wouldn't know if there were others in other places.
Let me see. I would like to make an insight check at this point because he has knowledge of other dragonkind.
Go for it.
But he says he's from the castle.
Mhm.
And he says that he was made there or something? Or did I misinterpret
You never.
Now he said he's been here the whole time, but the
Yes.
villagers say that he's
Everything
from
okay
the
there?
castle.
Yeah, just open the backyard.
Oh, okay.
21.
Oh, please.
On the 21, he's guarded. He so far doesn't seem that he's been dishonest,
Just
but he
reserved.
does seem to be considering what he's saying. Yeah.
That's it.
He's not blurting things out. He's thinking before speaking.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. No, have you met many, like, tieflings before?
Oh, yeah.
They're common
There's
here.
quite a few of them here. Yeah.
Did they all try and kill you?
Not anymore.
Some
No,
that's
no,
right.
not all of them. No.
The power structure of the cult of the endless winter? Was that what they were called? Oh, good. My memory works. Is of vague curiosity to me. Probably would never have come here, but they tried to kill us, so you know how that is. Fools.
Is that why you're here? Is
Yes, because the leader of the cult place found out about the dude we're travelling with the new necklace.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently he was a big deal in a past life, but left it all behind because he disagreed with them. Which, you know, I can understand. They were murdering people. I would disagree with that too.
Yeah.
And after rediscovering him, tried to kill him and all of his friends. And we were having none of it.
You said he killed one of you?
Yeah, resurrection's expensive. Obviously that's the reason why we had to put a stop to it. I joke. It was inconveniencing our personal lives.
You see, he's trying to follow along, but he's also definitely having a, like, what?
The casual display.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm definitely flexing.
Yeah. Like, I suppose constantly, actually, yeah. People constantly after you would get tiring.
Yeah, basically. So we tracked them down here and put a stop to it. And as is tradition in circumstances where we accidentally create a power vacuum whilst sorting out our personal lives, we're trying to not make it a terrible disruption for the people that live here.
It couldn't be further from a disruption.
Yeah? I'm very relieved to hear that.
I mean, you're taking away the greatest danger. That's giving us peace, not causing a disruption.
That's the hope. It's not always worked out that way, but that's definitely the hope.
I mean,
Where's this conversation happening, baby?
In the matinee, if you're around.
in the yeah,
Food
exactly.
court.
In Sam's
Food court.
created place.
We've
So
got a
if you
first
want to
class
be
table.
there,
This is sort of
yeah.
happening simultaneously
Yes.
to me and Nax
Yeah.
being elsewhere.
Yeah.
Absolutely fucking around with automatons.
When you remove the biggest predator from a food chain,
Oh, hey, Denarian, pull
the
up a
food
chair.
chain can sometimes break.
Now, I don't mean to break this to you as a. This is a
Hi.
Denarian Rekrego Denarian.
What tea is that you're drinking?
What is it I'm drinking?
It is a brew based on one of the blends from our travelling friends, Perspicacive tea.
Love it.
Yes.
Do you make your own tea? Have you ever drank tea before?
Very rarely.
I was trying to
Nah.
I made one up.
Just be careful, that's all I'm saying.
What?
Of.
Modifying the food chain.
Oh, so
I thought you had peaceful intentions.
Yeah, no, Denarian, I need to explain this to you. This is not a natural predator system. This is a political thing. People being predators in other people is not like...
Natural or not, we don't know what that big evil guy was doing. He could have been holding off some even bigger evil guy.
Oh no.
Oh, he certainly was not.
You're being... Oh, hang on a moment. You're being introspective. I'm so proud of you. A drink for Denerian, please.
You see a spectral Sam come over with a hot cup of tea.
The second one comes over and puts like a rosette on you.
I guess I am.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to be careful, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
What are your
Perched
plans
on
here?
the top of like a
don't
sitting
really
chair,
have
but on the
any-
back of it, like
The biggest plan is, because it was a very reactive thing, was like, someone's trying to kill us, we want that to stop. And now it's just like relaxing a little, unwinding from the stress of the constant assassination attempts before we move on somewhere else, basically. That's the general vibe. And
Why are you talking about food chains?
because Denerian is concerned, and I personally am slightly concerned as well, about the unexpected consequences problem. When you walk in somewhere, like, 'cause we didn't know about you, we didn't get the chance to get to know you before we had to do this. And so, I'm just trying to listen and learn,
We're just wanting to live our lives.
which is perfect. Honestly, I'm delighted to hear that. I just don't want bad things to happen because I was careless. Which is also what Denerian is saying,
if only it was like
in his own unique way.
Understand and appreciate that.
So yeah, and part of that is just like getting to know people, listening, learning. I love learning about different cultures and different races and different lifestyles.
Not too much of a culture here, I'm afraid, as in it's so based on survival.
Where do you guys think you're just gonna stay here? Like, you don't have to.
I mean, where else is there to go? Not all of us can travel across planes.
Oh yes, thank you. Oh, why does one of you look like Nax? Why would I do that to myself? Because I transformed into Nax once, of course.
Just working out issues with different versions.
You met Sam?
Yeah.
Quick question though, have all of the Sams, all the servants, iterations of Sam, or are they all just Sam?
It's an excellent question. I've always imagined them as different iterations.
Cool. That's fine. Just some 90% of them were like, fuck are these people?
I mean, Sam has iterated through different forms multiple
So
times.
does that mean that one of them's me now?
Walk into a room and be like, oh god! Oh no!
Or like, oh yes.
Oh, look at my bum.
That is Abletop's ass.
No.
Well, so you're just moving on soon then?
Probably. Unless we've destabilized things here and need to take action to ensure your safety. Like, as Denerian said, had that guy been holding off some terrible evil that would fall upon this place if we just yeeted ourselves out of here.
I really don't think you was.
Indeed, thankfully. But you gotta be careful when you're toppling kingdoms. So yeah, what's it like being you? I've said so much, I'm so sorry, I'm totally monopolizing the conversation.
So what's weather like today?
Fucking cold.
It's snowing.
Yeah.
You asked where else was there? Have you ever explored? Like, what level of security would you need here in order to go exploring?
Warmth.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of warmth.
A lot of warmth.
Yes.
How many people are in this village again?
Ish.
You've seen maybe like 100 or so.
Okay. That's it.
Wow, and they subsist off mammoth, yaks, and berries.
They also go out and gather.
Berries.
Do people ever come through here?
You mean travelers?
Traders.
No.
No?
No.
Yeah, no, where are my words? I don't know how feasible it is, but would you like to come to a different world where it's warmer? Might take a while.
mean, I've got a life here.
Hmm.
It's shit, but it's still home.
Doesn't have to be home.
Doesn't do shit.
It is home.
Home is where the heart is.
Oh, whatever good tea grows. No tea grows here.
I mean,
No.
Daenerys, I'm
Can't be
guessing
home.
that good tea lives somewhere in your heart.
It's got to actually still grow somewhere.
This was a metaphor.
Don't look at it. Don't look at it.
It's dagger. It's so
Is it-
swinging.
Do you want something from me?
I'm very curious about dragons.
I can tell. What is it that you want to know?
No, I don't know.
What is the point you're trying to get to?
I absolutely have no point or agenda in interrogating you. I just kind of want to know.
Deception check.
Can I finish the sentence first?
Yes.
I just want to know more about dragon kinds because I have a dragon at home I'm trying to impress.
Oh my.
Still a deception check.
Off the table.
Partial truth does not discard the lie.
Yeah, you are.
I am.
Fuck it, why
Because-
not?
Why not?
But
Still, that is.
It wasn't a natural one, was it?
no, far from it.
Okay.
It was one on the inspiration dice.
29.
Wait, you don't have expertise in deception?
I got rid of it. You never noticed.
That's how good you are deceptive.
We just haven't lied in a while.
He's like,
Sorry, I should roll a deception for that.
I don't think you can compare me to an actual dragon. I'm not a dragon, even though I might look like one. So I don't know how to impress your dragon that you might want to impress.
What is the culture surrounding dragons and dragonkind?
I don't think there's been a dragon in as long as I can remember. Maybe longer.
Well, that's it. I'm on this due diligence. What are your plans? Like, with now that the village is safe, no threats except the elements.
Continue as usual, but without worrying about imminent death.
Inside.
So with the 21, that was... I'm not going to make you roll several insight checks during one conversation.
Yes, roll one. Sorry.
But with the 21...
Had I known it was that important, I'd have dropped a pure skill.
Seems genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No thoughts as to why. Nothing on my radar has pinged as to why that would align with Nak saying there's something shifty about him.
He seems very guarded. That definitely is something you got. But he hasn't seemed to be lying so far.
He just doesn't trust quickly.
Yeah, he seems distrustful, and I mean, you could tell that he was like, "What are you up to? What is your ulterior motive?"
This is someone who is expecting there to be an ulterior motive.
Yes, exactly. He's guarded. He's on guard, and he's expecting something else.
Okay.
Maybe that was why he was worried about the food chain thing. Because if you're looking at purely food chain, he's next on it.
He is at the top of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he doesn't seem
You're whittling from the food chain?
he doesn't seem to be lying. He doesn't seem to be approaching you with any like deceiving intent as such.
Cool.
He's maybe not being entirely. He's not being entirely open, but not dishonest either. He's just keeping his personal life to himself. Yeah.
I think the tea's almost empty, and probably about time we should get out there. But I did promise you an answer to the question, the riddle, the discrepancy you noticed. I am I think possibly the last changeling on the material plane. My exterior form and the species that I am present as, have the traits of, is entirely malleable.
How very interesting.
It is super interesting. Ordinary. If you see Reaver, just tell him hi. Thanks.
Does that mean you are constantly polymorphing, or?
When you say constantly, as in right now?
As in, how do you create how do you hold?
So it's not a concentration-like effect, if that's what you mean.
It's an inborn.
Yeah. It's a natural thing. Well, I say natural. My race was created by a very angry god thing.
Isn't it that most races are created as gods?
Tell me about it. That was a moment of bonding.
And he seems, by the way, he's finally put his cup down without... He's been constantly playing with his teacup just because this is an awkward conversation and he's filling up the space, the gaps in the conversation with like drinking and like... So, yeah. But now, this is the first time when he's actually...
Captured his interest by revealing one of my deepest secrets.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an instant effect. But it's not just like a skin deep thing, there are spells that you can use to alter your exterior form. It's deeper than that. When I impersonate one of the blue tieflings that I've seen, I gain their resistance to white tieflings. I gain the actual resistance to cold, which is
How incredibly useful.
you have every idea.
That's... Oh, man.
Indeed.
So do you travel a lot then? Because I can imagine with an ability like that, you could go anywhere.
I travel with my friends, but like, if we ever stop traveling, I could just wander off into the world and travel forever. Like, it's one of the things I've considered, because I don't know how long my race lives. I don't feel old. How would I? Like, is that a thing on the outside?
So the body
I don't know that. I've felt old. There was a woman once who was very old, and that was quite cathartic for me. Her name was Jetta, and she and that felt old. But how much of that is the body? Like, how deep does it go? Where, like, is there like a physical part of me that is a core that doesn't change?
I think if one takes the polymorph spell, you change, but you don't age per se. You don't feel yourself becoming older or younger creature.
It's a complete reset of your physical capabilities as well to whatever you're polymorphing into. I still retain all my learned skills.
Wow.
It's you have quite a knowledge of polymorphing. This is an unexpected delight.
It's basic spellcrafting.
Fucking. Is it Oh, I don't know. Finish.
Day one at Magical University. We'll be dealing with polymorphing, everyone.
Because everyone's secretly a furry.
So I can't cast
Failing, get it right.
True. You were saying?
Nothing. It's just basic spellcrafting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yes. Oh, this will intrigue you. So, everyone I've encountered, with the exception of our good friend, scary friend Nax, who has learned his magic from a book, gets their magic from a source. I don't know what my source is, because I do not learn magic from a book, and sometimes, usually after particularly stressful encounters, near-death experiences and the like, I have new spells.
I mean, you said you imagined this, right?
Yeah.
Was that then not the source?
But what is imagination a source of magic?
D&D, everyone.
You can tell that he's now. This conversation has changed to him having like an almost enjoyable scholarly chat with you.
I'm delighted to discuss with, you know.
It's like I mean, if magic can come from blood, if magic can be learned, why can it not be imagined?
I mean, that makes sense, but like, I just never encountered anyone else who works in quite the same way.
I don't think I have either, no.
Because we've got people who believe in things and that grants them power. We've got people who have made agreements with powerful beings and get them power. Usually,
So why do you do that?
I know that whoever resided in the palace here, and I don't mean whoever one single person, the entire
the culture.
I'm pretty sure their magic ran in their blood, in their nature.
Really? I assumed it was learned.
Oh no, I've never seen anyone attend any class or anything.
Oh. Maybe
He looks at the empty stool that you're looking at, like,
It's just the knack, Sam.
Yeah. Sorry. You sit there for a moment so I can look straight. Thank you. How interesting. Yes. I don't. Yeah. No. It intrigues me. I assumed that there was like my leading theory is that I have a muse that is shy.
that's very poetic.
I'm quite a poetic person, so it made sense.
That's good.
I suppose so, yeah.
But it could also just be like a natural bloodline thing or a power of imagination that works uniquely because of my race. But I guess that's a bloodline thing. I blog. I journal about this a lot.
I can imagine. I mean, if I were you, I would search for philosophers, and I think I could talk about this forever. It's very interesting.
I've written so much, and I wish there were just some. Sometimes I just wish there were people out there who were reading my stuff and could occasionally just like, I could have a moment with those people. But alas, it's very difficult to have people read your journal when you're traveling all the time.
I can only imagine.
But I should find scholars and talk more about it. That's an idea. Honestly, the last year has mostly been moving from crisis to crisis. Just
hopefully you've left them all behind, solved, and better.
Always better. Usually solved. Which,
as much as you can do.
Basically, we do our best. Can you fucking stop? I love you guys.
It was lovely speaking to you. I think I really need to
Yes.
get back out again.
Yes. It's an unexpected delight.
But you've given me much to think about. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, we should do it again sometime else. How long do dragonkind live?
I've actually wondered about that myself. I don't
the
feel
same questions.
I don't feel old either. I'm pretty sure that I've seen the same season come by about 50 times now. So
Oh wow.
I'm
Hashtag you don't look it.
hoping. Oh, thank you. I'm hoping that I will live and die with my friends here. That would.
Yes, that is a concern. I definitely, with the exception of one of them, I'm probably going to outlive most of my friends.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Done it before, it sucks.
He gets up from the stool.
Point.
But he gives you puts a hand on the shoulder. It's like, I'm really sorry to hear that.
Appreciate that. But hopefully the snow has lightened by maybe 1%.
Oh, it already seemed to be clearing up a bit earlier. Did you not notice?
No.
I did not know.
Oh, well, it's already better then.
Amazing. That's great news. What's next?
A good day.
Good day. I would also like to make sure that when he put hands on me, he wasn't stealing from me or casting spells on me.
He was...
Being sympathetic.
Yes, and there was a genuine when he said, I hope to go. Basically, I hope to live the same lifespan as the people here. There was it was very heartfelt, that moment. And when you said that maybe you wouldn't, there was a genuine like, oh no, that really genuinely sucks for you. Yeah. Well, that was very heartfelt. Mm-hmm.
Especially Finn. He's going to die first. Internal monologue.
He
We're all in the chat, Sam.
Sure, I'm pouring my soul out.
No, he's in a different.
He's in.
Original Saturday. Shut up.
He walks out.
Excellent. Sweet. I have lunch and then start figuring out how to sing my name in Celestial.
Okay. Get back to you.
You know, the important things.
Iridrian, is there anything you wish to do, or are you just genuinely wanting to stay in a blanket and get tea brought to you?
Pretty much that. There is at one point where I think, my ears are burning. Someone must be talking. Oh wait, no, it's just a frostbite.
Yeah. Very legit.
Yeah, no, otherwise I'm...
Cover. Stream of hot tea and hot toddies.
Yeah. Mix it up, a bit of hot chocolate in there too.
Okay. Denarian, is there anything you wish to do?
I will bring him tea.
Oh.
If it's not rejected, then I'll continue to bring him tea. Maybe
Is
every
it hot
half
tea?
hour. It is hot tea.
I'll drink it.
Every half hour.
Aw.
And then listening on Sam's conversation.
Okay.
That's all.
I've just got like a growing collection of mugs on my bedside table. Like some of them, like
So some are starting to go into the ground now.
I feel like Sam's programmed them all to be like, give you anything you want, but hasn't done the thing where they're like, and then clear up behind yourself. So just piles of shit everywhere.
there's like hot chocolates that are like halfway full where I've been given a fresh one. I'm like, ooh, a fresh cup.
You look at the old one, it's too cold now to drink.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It's got that kind of skin on it. You're
Suggest-
like,
Yeah, exactly.
Suggesting that every
fucking
mug
down
in
now.
this place isn't slightly enchanted to keep things at perfect temperature.
Still, your cream will be melting.
That's as bad as microwaving tea.
your perfection is different from Iridrian's perfection. Though.
Evidently, mine's right.
Wow.
Finn,
Yes.
is there anything you would like to do? Reaver's out for the day. He's not available for any training. Sam seems to be in conversation.
Which I would love to bring forward, but that's not doing it. I'm going to take my 2 nature-based books on herbs of the world and Can I Eat This? Nature Edition. And I want to sit with Denarian and just go, Denarian, you look like a man who's gone through a forest and gone, can I eat this? And has then found out if they can. Can you help me?
I can't.
Yes. Can you help me with this? It's like almost. I don't want to say a pop-up book, but it's very just like.
I'm gonna hate the book. I hate the book.
Okay.
I hate it.
You hate the book.
I hate it.
You hate it or hit it.
I hate it.
Why?
It feels like... How to explain it?
It feels like learning.
No, it feels like somebody's just like imagine an American has written a book on how to be Scottish.
Oh, yeah.
They wear their kilts all the time whenever they go around the place, and they listen to bagpipes on tap.
Fucking Elfia, the Scots area.
Yeah.
Red
Cosplaying
berries,
as Scottish people.
red mushrooms, always poisonous.
Yes,
Yeah.
You're like,
Well,
okay.
in that case, can you show me how stupid they are and how wrong they are?
yes, I will do this.
Hand me a
You have
quill.
never, well, almost never seen Denarian this judgmental.
Okay.
I see.
I make
Going through this.
I make annotated like doctor's handwriting notes as well.
I think
but
I'm
no one
trying
else
to
can
teach
read
him.
them.
I'm like channeling my inner the person who taught me.
Florian.
Florian. I'm kind of like channeling him, so it's gonna be a little bit sassy.
Halfway through, you're just gonna punch him clean in the chest.
Yeah, exactly.
Always have your core tight.
Okay.
Anytime.
Sam, as you are wanting to learn Celestial, or at least practice your Celestial further with Lyra. Well, tough luck.
I guess I'll have to watch you back on the podcast.
Video. Podcast or audio.
Podcast?
Can I have an intelligence check from you?
I thought you were going to say saving
Oh,
throw.
you're
No,
just
no,
going
no.
straight in with it. All right.
Just an intelligence check.
Yep. My favourite. Jack of all trades.
I think it's the saving throw. Straight in with a line of shit.
9, 10, 11, 9 plus 13.
13?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really?
I'm not very intelligent. You may have noticed this.
Yes.
I don't solve things quickly. I solve them patiently over the course of the entire campaign.
As
No,
you,
you're not wise either.
you're talking, well,
You just tell everybody.
you have this unique way of communicating with Lyra.
Yes.
Yes. It's not so much as a conversation as it is an odd interaction.
We have an exchange.
Yes. Where her coherent moments are interrupted by bursts of insanity and
No sign of that third
erratic
voice.
You've never heard it.
Mm.
You've only once when you did
When
the detect
deep
thoughts.
detect
Exactly.
thoughts
Yeah.
Inferred its
You felt
existence.
like yeah,
So
exactly.
there is a third one here.
Yes.
Very Moon Knight. Spoiler alert.
Celestial to speak is hard, and Lyra is not a great teacher.
No.
Asking
She strikes me as
them,
someone who lacks patience. They strike me as someone who lacks patience.
not just that, it's just that they lack a sanity. So asking them to say something, they, sometimes will, but there's no explanation of why it is said a certain way, how the grammar, the syntax, how anything works.
Sometimes they're insane and wrong.
And it's very hard for you to switch to the accent. It's musical, it's tonal, and for you to replicate the sounds appropriately is hard. You feel like you probably you could make yourself maybe understandable, but the best comparison I can give is that
I've not found the rhythm.
No, you've not found the rhythm, and if someone were to be fluent in Celestial, they could understand you, but they would also be able to point out all the mistakes in more or less every single word, and it's only through the context of the entire sentence that they're like, oh, right, you're trying to say this.
Checksums. Got it. Okay. Now I know I've got a fair bit to go, but I'll persevere. Plus it's
Then,
Oh no.
can I have,
Oh, no.
since you're spending an entire day with Lyra,
Okay. Yeah.
yes. Can I have an insight check?
And of course, because it's Lyra related, we're burning these.
Mm-hmm.
We're burning these hard and fast.
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
infinite.
No, just 29. 29. I bet it was one shy.
29, you notice that approaching them as a teacher, there's a sense of not just satisfaction, but almost a yes, this is correct. This is how it's supposed to be. A natural taking on of a kind of like a leadership role there. And although they're not a great teacher, like I said, they're not coherent, but there's a natural
Expectation of
a role of being in command, exactly. That comes really natural to them.
yeah. Now, does that also come? There's different flavors of leadership and command.
Mm-hmm.
Is 29 enough to give me a sense for like managerial, good manager, bad manager, insane god, all must obey me or die?
Depends on. Are you taking these lessons while they are in lyre form? You know that they can change into a mist form.
That's an excellent point. I'd forgotten all about that.
So the one
Let's do mist form because
What?
that
Okay.
mist.
Yeah, remember. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a corporeal female form.
Not
female.
female.
Just a
Just
silhouette.
generic
Oh, I thought it
Yeah.
mirrored you.
No.
No. They look like Scottish hard. That's become
Oh,
a person.
so it's not even like a
It
solid
looks like
frame.
mist.
It's just like a sort of mist in the
Mist
shape.
silhouette.
Generally, you could like looking at it slightly. You could right.
Yes, and anyone
Just
like
shape
Finn and Daenerys, if they walk through the space, you occasionally see them like almost drift apart a little bit before taking on a solid shape again.
Okay, solid effort for
Well, solid.
being terrifying. Nice.
Not terrifying.
With a 29,
Yes.
What happens when she makes you?
their body language is very commanding when it happens. Half the time it is flitting, it is drifting apart, it's not holding its shape well. The other half the time, you'd almost think that they were expecting you to do things for them. There's a
Entitled, or is it like
Entitled.
less conscious than that? Like,
definitely entitled.
okay.
See when they're in mist form.
Mm-hmm.
Can we hear them?
If they can choose to speak out loud or telepathically. with
Have
someone.
we heard them?
Yes. When they first appeared in the Sealy court, you spoke
Okay.
with them.
Right.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when we got worried.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Amazing. That is
We weren't
great.
worried before.
After some time,
I'm just mildly concerned now, worried.
pardon me, they lose their patience with your questions about Celestia.
And we move on to something else. Which is to say, I move on to something else, and they go back to the lyre, and unless there's something they want.
Time out.
They'll probably ask you, do you want me to be a liar again, or did you want me to be a cape this time?
Cape. Let's try a cape. Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, sure. And they walk over to you, and for a moment you feel these very cold fingers touch your shoulders before a piece of garment, a dark blue, it's more like a half cape, so it sits on the one shoulder.
Ooh.
Yeah, exactly, and it's that kind of half length going on both sides.
Okay.
Looking down at yourself, there appear to be these grey moving patterns that like constantly shift over the cape. It
Amazing.
looks very pretty.
It does look pretty. Does it try and hypnotize me?
No.
How does the style of it work with my robe of scintillating colours? Do they complement each other or do they clash?
You could definitely pull it off.
Okay.
Yes.
That's all I need to know.
Honestly, with your sense
Someone else
of
is like, that's gaudy as fuck. You're like, I'm working it.
I was gonna say, with your sense of like fashion over 900 years, I'm pretty sure that you can do like, okay, let's just make sure that it catches the blue light a bit more than, the pinks.
Maybe just adjust my like eyeshadow eye shape slightly.
Almost colors of sunset above a sea.
Oh. Yes. I dig it.
Hey,
Hey, what's up?
hey. When are you gonna tell me your name?
Ooh. Which name?
Your name.
When are you gonna tell me yours? We can make a big deal of it.
My name is Lyra. Yeah.
Yeah. Has it always been?
Of course it has always been.
Cool. My name's Sam.
No, it's not.
It is. But that's not what it's always been.
Silence.
Haha.
Haha, played with fire.
Considering that you're spending some more time with Lyra,
Hmm.
one of the affinities the cape grants you is resistance to one element of choice. It can be changed per long rest.
What are the limits of these? You say element.
Yes.
Okay, so that's like the
Not bludgeoning, piercing,
force,
slashing.
psychic. Psychic?
Yep.
Ooh.
Yes to psychic.
Psychic is an element.
Radiant.
A new Pokemon is real. That is
Element, but Lyra
Energy type.
definitely gives you resistance to
Things.
psychic damage.
that one thing. That's very generous of her. Them.
It.
Them, because there's a plurality.
No, and yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, she kept saying that, and I was like, yeah, gender neutral. Or
The answer is yes. Your first day here passes.
Yes.
I won't let you. You won't need another long rest to say that yes. With this day, you can take off another point of exhaustion,
I'm
Iridrian.
going to move it.
Thank you.
As you're convening for dinner.
Can I just, as well as doing my 101 nature of Daenerys, if he ever gets like bored from his righteous anger towards the inaccuracies of everything, would that take us all the way up to dinner?
Depends on how long you wish to spend on it.
I mean, yeah, I'm all for it. It
definitely takes longer with Daenerys' help.
I'm gonna say this: Finn's patience will outweigh Daenerys' doing something soon. I had something else.
Does.
Yeah. So it's kind of up to, I'm doing this as long as I've got Daenerys to help with me because I feel that'd be a lot better. Plus, I just like having Daenerys. And so if you were to then go off and do something else, I'm not gonna be like, oh, but can you? And then pull back into it. So if he wanders off halfway through, he wanders halfway through.
You wander out halfway through.
I mean, I wander off like very
Less than
soon.
halfway through.
Okay.
But not because I don't want to do it, just because I needed to make tea, and then I brought the tea to
Do
Iridian, and
you
then I
stressfully
saw
make tea? 'Cause,
I saw some wood marks, and I started fiddling with that, and then there was this door that was half opened, and I was like, oh, why is this half opened? And then there's
Fair.
a cape room, and now
So-
I'm trying on capes.
I get that.
But I do want
One
to
of them
help
is
you.
Lyra. Oh, this one's full of bit like
I return shaken.
Just put the cape down for 1 second.
yeah, Daenerys picks them up. How would happen?
I'll bookmark where we go, just so when he does come back that we can kind of pick over that stuff. But I also want to make my way to the village and kind of continue the kind of doctor's visits to the home.
Yeah.
So maybe some people that I saw were like, I need to check up on this in a few days. When I'm asking around, can I check if there's any if there's a medicine woman or a shaman or a herbalist?
Not really.
Okay.
There's a basic knowledge of anatomy that some people here have more than others. That they're the people that you go to if you have a broken bone, and they'll set it to the best of their capabilities. But there's no doctor as such. And there's not a lot that grows here in terms of herbs that might help.
Before today.
I've got an idea then. So there's only people with basic knowledge of anatomy.
Yeah.
And they can't grow anything. They can't
Not really.
heal anything. Is there anyone that practices magic at all? That is.
Asking around.
Yeah. No
I think
one's.
so. No one steps forward as, I am the druidic healer of the village. No.
No, well, I go with it in the kind of I can try and help teachers. I learned how to with the baby bird. See if there's anyone that might have that capability.
Ooh.
Okay, and
It's very much if someone chokes, I could prefer a Heimlich, but I don't know the best tea or remedy for a cold.
okay, and when I ask if anyone's got any magic, they just say no. We're all just fighters.
We're all just boring human fighters.
Okay, cool. Good to know. In that case, I'll then head back and then kind of probably come back at the same time. Daenerys comes back shaking with and I'll be like, we'll turn it into righteous anger, and I'll kind of pop back up to
Nah.
and the mushrooms are always 2 centimeters in diameter. I'm like,
Okay. So eventually you'll convene for your evening meal.
Yep.
that Sam has prepared. Sam's has prepared.
They. Plurality.
Exactly.
You all gather for dinner. You've all spent your first day here. What are your plans? Do you indeed wish to stay longer? Now Denarian is bored, as is normal for Denarian.
So what's the
Not
script?
surprising.
Have we got like a defining like end time to? I mean, as wonderful as it is here, do we have any?
And where are we going next?
Oh,
Assuming we have a table to ourselves.
It's your place.
It's your
You can have a
place.
table to yourself.
How
Yeah.
many times
But I
pocket
mean, like,
dimension?
assuming that there's enough background noise.
I'm assuming we have a room. Right?
You can. I was gonna say you can. This is your home.
I not where I
I want my
Okay,
own chair.
so we have a private suite.
Yes, of course you can.
Much
A
better.
mezzanine,
This is-
like look over.
Yeah.
It's one of those cases where you don't have to ask the DM for things. You're like, I have this in here.
Exactly.
Enjoy it while you can.
We're all in a ball pit.
Are you suggesting
that's so much better than a bar.
that I'm going to lose the 7th level spell? So? Yeah. I spoke with Rakragro, quite a reserved fellow, but he seems genuinely just like interested in the safety of the village, and really has no aspirations beyond it's fucking cold here. I'd like to be warm.
Fair enough.
Has anybody actually like offered them to like leave here?
I asked them if he wanted to, but they were like, "This is my home." I was like, "Home is a people, not a place. You can just like yeet your entire village to somewhere warmer." But,
Have you asked anyone else about it?
I haven't really spoken to anyone else. I was mostly interested in like, he's a very thick boy.
Have you considered setting them on fire?
Now, this sounds like an ancient proverb that I too am familiar with. No.
Well, for the villagers, you can get used to a certain level of discomfort, of despair, and that's just your kind of, and then you're like, nah, this is a comfortable pain, and I'm not going to change it. It could get worse. So I don't think that's something we're going to be able to fix like that.
It reminds me of my old job.
What's your job?
Nothing at all.
No. Can I
Quite
do
boring, really.
I'm glad you found something.
follow
Something
the
green,
lights, check and see how those two are, especially as the kind of the worst off in terms of exhaustion.
Smugglers.
How many days left do they have? Like, I'm gonna what looking for?
We're at 3 levels.
What? I was gonna say, Adrian, what level are you at now of exhaustion?
2.
Oh my god, you're at
Denarian.
4.
And isn't gonna
What?
He was at 4.
Alright, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think Adrian would definitely bear, not necessarily the scars, but you know, the tips of his ears are still somewhat red. There's some swelling there. There's also a definite chocolate mustache. So, you know, he's probably doing a little bit better.
Thanking Sam for the hospitality.
Oh my god. Trauma.
So, Heredrian's actually been thinking, like, before he leaves his room for the first time, he sees he's looking a bit better, but feels like maybe he should be carrying his scars a little bit more obviously.
Okay.
Suffered so much.
So he's thinking of ways he could, like, maybe add makeup to the edges of his ears to make them look a bit darker. Maybe
Even
kind
a
of-
bit blue at the edge.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's look.
How's your
Okay.
frostbite gotten worse since you got back?
Sam's just like, I love the shading.
It's just the extra. Don't touch. It's just the extra time that I spent outside. It's okay. I'm getting better. It'll recover over time.
Gorgeous. It really works with your eyes. Well done.
Can I don't want to out him because he's but I want to know if this is
Would Finn suspect foul play to begin with?
No, but he has concern about the frostbite continuing inside.
Please let me roll deception.
I mean,
please go
technically
for it.
Finn would know what
I
frostbite like as a
Yeah.
doctor.
I assume deception.
Watch.
Because we've had
So
people
not knowing though, there's a little bit meta here. You don't, at someone who walks out of a room with blue ears, who you know sat outside all night, you don't go, aha, you've put makeup on your ears.
No.
Okay, let me rephrase. Or rather, let me seek clarity about the word picture. Like, is this an artful exaggeration or like a
Oh, no, it's-
realistic, gritty exaggeration?
It's subtle.
Okay.
I'm not going for, I want it to look real. I don't want it to go, oh, you've got makeup
Real.
on your ears.
Got it.
Yeah, no, he's trying to gain the
I
sympathy
misunderstood.
points.
Yeah. And I'm doing this purely from a place of how has it gotten worse? You've been
So,
Husband,
between
I haven't left my room.
between the two of you, I will say you can roll a medicine check because that's what you were wanting to do anyway.
Yep.
I just want to exert sympathy for my husband here.
Uh-huh.
Oh, thank God it's not me anymore.
What did you roll on medicine?
32.
Your time.
32.
Yeah.
Okay. With a 32,
What's your deception
Yes.
score though?
you can notice that the symptoms seem
Not as high as 32.
worse than they should be.
I think we need to stay here at least another day.
2 days, preferably.
Another tea for my husband.
See when we were in the
What's your favourite?
the palace.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Was there like any excess magical components or anything like that, or material lying around, sort of like specifically incense?
Incense.
Yeah.
No, any incense that was there got fireball 3 times, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I didn't know.
That
It may
room
have been a
must
very
smelled
fragrant
awful.
room.
I have a note in my notes that says using fireball in an office environment is not right.
Yeah.
In terms of magical materials, you found his tuning forks.
Yeah. The tuning
um,
fork.
I-
Safety manual.
There was some stuff on the first floor that
Uh-huh.
you never went back to pick up, but there's no incense.
What was the stuff on the first floor? Because previously, when it was like the rooms that we didn't check or thingy like that, that would have
Yes.
been something that
Yeah,
Reaver
yeah,
would have
yeah.
done when Nax was like, "Let them fight," in the
100%. There were
Automaton Coliseum that we're building.
there's a small black ball there,
Uh-huh.
as well as 2 bottles. Those were the things that you left behind,
Okay.
and they were lying in those kind of display
Mhm.
cases that those decapitated heads also lay in,
Okay.
which are also still there should you want to take some decapitated heads with you.
As you do.
While I'm here,
Yes.
That's fun show you.
in the room with a
Yeah. That sound. Uh-huh.
I'm like rifling through their shit
Mhm.
and just being like, is this useful? Is this like the black ball? Like shake it like a what do
So
you call it?
it's maybe
A-ball.
this big.
Oh, it's like teeny tiny.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I take a small. I
You
take
touch it, it's very cool to touch.
very cold.
Yeah.
Ooh. Take a small bag, open it, drop it in, tie it up, put it on my belt.
Okay.
The 2 bottles, I give the kind of shuggle just to see if anything like floats to the surface, like eyes or fingers or some shit.
I was thinking eyes.
Bottles.
Yeah.
Also,
Cold to the touch.
there's frost crystals that seem to have formed on the glass. When you shake them,
Mhm.
you don't necessarily feel a liquid, and looking at them, they seem to be filled with something that looks like icy mist more than liquid.
Okay. Those 2 things also go into a small pouch.
Okay.
Like, right. Okay. And I grab one of the heads, lift them up, and I'm like,
Is there a
Oh.
speak with death? Is there a, if you've done it, you can't do
10
it again
days.
for 7 or 10 days?
I think it's
10 days?
10 days. You've
Ah.
spoken to
Yes,
both of them.
How long?
It's
You spoke
been
with me.
2 or 3 days,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
definitely not 7 nor 10.
Okay, in which case.
No one mentioned it over dinner.
What, the head?
No, that Lyra became a cape.
Did we?
You
We spoke,
didn't
we spoke
mention
the
it.
2 up the top, right?
I wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Just part of my fashion.
Did we speak with.
You change your clothes so often.
What's the point? Where would I fucking-
No, he vaporized, right? What happened to him?
Everyone would obviously notice the ears.
No, I brought his body in.
Sandwiching.
You-
It's not-
you-
We sent
you
the head, we
spoke-
did speak with him,
Yeah.
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
you did speak with Ramazor. You
Mine
decapitated
probably
him
Yeah.
and brought the head to the village.
Okay. Cool.
Yes.
In which case, I'll just have the things and then
Okay.
I'll be.
Forward in time.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
Fix.
Rakarego?
No.
No?
Magical tiefling we saved from able to Rowan.
Yes, I'm equally bad at names, but I know exactly who.
Roni, yeah. Roni. I thought
yes.
it was Roni.
Yeah.
He gave us a timescale of about 4 days for some of the stuff, didn't he?
Up to 4 days to a week.
Alright, cool.
Because initially it was 4 days, and then you kind of piled him with some things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're his favourite customers. Only customers.
Sure. We kind of stolen
Yeah.
freedom
Yeah, great.
into our employment.
So we fast forward to dinner again.
Since I never got the things that from that, I'll just over dinner I'll take them out and I'll be like, this stuff is the stuff that we left back at the thing. I think we possibly thought it was trapped at the time, and I realised looking back on it now, I just picked these up.
You left it because you were worried that you were being scryed on, and that they'd see the room changed.
Anyway, here, and here, and I set the small pouch with a cold sphere in it, and the 2 balls. Yeah.
Oh yeah, those.
I figured we could either have a look at them, or someone who was more magically inclined, maybe yourself, would be able to.
I already picked one up.
Oh, okay. There's like a small sphere that's cold as well. It's kind of weird.
You can certainly roll an Arcana check. Yeah.
Sam, I need to ask this. Well, but I'll wait for this first.
What's that? 16.
Okay, 16. The small.
Identify. Really? Oh yeah, we
We covered this. We keep covering this.
I'll have a go looking at them as well. Just trying to, from an arcane perspective, and I will sort of like do that, like grab a little wisp of flame out of the air, and then like kind of like run it across his chest, and the flame disappears, and I'll channel Lysander.
Are you doing the what's it called?
To give me the borrowed knowledge, so
Yes.
I can have
You can also roll an Arcana check.
good arcana.
Hey, Reaver, you want any motivation? I was thinking about dogs.
Reaver's doing this nonchalantly, so he's not like, I'm not going to take the guidance because I don't look like I'm doing anything
That's
other
fine.
than
No, not
like,
sir.
because he's
What did
sorry
you
does
roll?
it sort of like I've not rolled yet.
I need to ask you.
Fuck nice.
18.
About power.
18.
Yeah.
Okay. So between the two of you, the small ball, you can identify it looks like a pearl.
In fact, I'm going to add my D10 to it.
Okay.
Nice.
+7, so 25. So because I'm doing that kind
Showing
of,
you up, man.
so I'm kind of doing that channeling thing,
You
like
don't want that other
when Reaver's talking about it, there's like a slight echo, and like ever so slightly, just like when Reaver's like, oh, you'll hear like, oh, like
So-
way in the distance.
That's amazing.
The echo of Lysander's voice almost. You hear, of course you don't know. You need to attune.
Is this to the small sphere? Get tuned to the sphere.
If so, you can summon night.
Oh no.
You can summon night or a night. Like summon night itself or
I'm like, sorry, Alexander, is that with a K?
Capital N?
The connection over here is terrible.
Can I bring about the darkness or do we have a protection?
No, young man. A 10-mile area will become nighttime,
Fuck.
even during day.
Fuck.
This is the most Reaver item we've had.
You've got instant Gotham in your hands.
It is a
What happens to the sun?
24-hour long nighttime until you cancel it.
Oh my god.
Holy.
Cool. Well,
You are like,
wow.
That boss.
I don't even. Who would make this?
Where did you get it?
At the castle.
Oh, who's it made?
Is it a one and done or?
Dalzim, I'll bet.
Once used, it cannot be used again for 24 hours.
That's fucking brilliant. It's reusable. Fuck.
It is a legendary item.
Oh!
We just left this lying. Yeah, you did. we just went small ball. You'll see us. Let's
That's a
walk
fucking
away.
trap, but
Wow.
Next,
Fuck.
while he is channeling your good old lich friend Lysander, you have a look at these bottles.
Shit.
They're potions, definitely. And you think that the best way to identify what they do is
Get Finn to try them.
to get Finn to try them. Either that, or do a real quick. You'd have to be careful with it.
Flip.
Like do a unstopper it, but very briefly. Yeah, you can certainly try that. In which case, I would like a
wants the
sleight of
gums.
hand check from you.
It is in fact arsenic.
10 mile Arctic tundra.
It's worth the risk.
you've got a D4. This one's been kind to me.
Came to you.
Okay.
Nax holds it, it just turns to dust. And they're like, oh.
That's the innate kindness. Weak.
Oh yes, the power of kindness once again.
Where's the one?
Alright, Mr. My imagination magic over there.
Hi.
Imagination.
It is 22.
Okay, in that case, for a very brief moment you unstop it and immediately put it back on, but just enough to get a careful, not the immediately above it, but like a careful whiff. What stands out to you is the cold, the freezing cold that comes out of this. You think that this is something akin to bottled dragon's breath.
Oh.
Seems quite potent. Definitely, if one were to drink it, could probably recreate certain dragon breath effects.
Any particular dragon breath effect?
Yeah, what kind of dragon breath effect?
Quite cool. However, you also think that drinking this does come with a certain risk.
It's the one that breathes swords.
Yeah. You think that there's maybe, if you were to drink this, you probably would get 2 uses out of it.
And there's 2 bottles, right?
Yes.
Whoa.
We did
The
both at the same
both the
time.
same, the bottles.
Both the same.
Double fisted.
bottles.
You'd explode. You just pop.
That risk that was described, probably.
I mean, but the rest of the reward.
Double the risk, double the reward, right?
Twice
That's how
to
it works.
fly, twice to fall.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like Sam, you could make your dragon illusions even more realistic.
Oh, burn.
Yes. I should make them more real. I would like that very much. Problem?
No.
Well then, I don't need both bottles.
No, I mean, they're going part of collection. I'm just more explaining what they are.
They're amazing. I would love to hold on to one for reasons.
I have a question. So, I just want to make sure I'm really trying to make sure that I'm not metagaming with this, but it's been made known that back we go. I've done it phonetically. I'm not taking any of the suggestions.
Yep.
Has lied about, well, not lied, or maybe just given an alternative story about his arrival here. So saying, I've been here a long time, came from there. And now we found these bottles of cold dragon's breath. I think that would be enough to, interesting, but not enough to be like, you! Sam, question. Did you give any of your conversation about him, or just It was like, yeah, we chatted. What was that?
Oh no, I was like, I said that he was Recrego, well, a reserve fellow, but we got talking. And he's mostly just interested in like surviving in this place. Like, I asked him if he wanted to leave or what he would do, and like, it seems like a dead-end village with nothing going for it. With only 100 people live here, no trade routes. Like, these people are all going to die in the next century.
Wow, that's fucking bleak.
I mean, obviously, but I mean, like, there's not enough population here for this to survive.
Wait, so there's
You're not
no
getting the bit of information you were asking.
there's no other so there's no other like villages around the area. There's no other so are we to believe from this Recrego guy that this small suffering village is the only existence or inhabitants of people here?
They don't have the capability to go exploring.
He doesn't seem to be affected much by the cold.
He does not.
So he's
And he has the choice to leave. I asked him if they wanted to, like, we could theoretically take the entire village with us over a period of time. But that wasn't something that...
Probably not where we're going next, though.
Where are we? Oh, yeah, we're going to end comfortably in Ioun?
That would be really... Yeah, it'd be really awkward if we...
Yeah, it would be.
I don't think there's enough room there, all of us at once.
I don't think there's enough for a village in Ioun.
We don't know how big the place is. Ioun might be, like, quite comfortable.
Maybe if we gradually ease them in over a series of days.
There's an adjustment period, and,
Somewhere a goddess just went, hearing my name spoken a lot, maybe I should throw some rocks down.
There's an area next to the gateway that's just lined in caltrops now.
Yeah. That's D4s.
That's going to make for a spiky injury.
Okay.
Well done.
Nice.
So
nice.
are we... We're dead.
Question. The dragon's breath. Do you think he was milked like a snake?
What? That's not...
What?
Oh my god.
We have fought dragons, Finn. We have fought dragons. You know
I saw a dragon, man, and there's glasses of frost breath.
Probably it just comes out of his mouth like a regular dragon.
I know, but what? But if
Why would you assume that you can... What?
You know what?
no, was he forced to be like, hey, breathe into this for us. We're gonna bottle it.
We don't know if he can even breathe.
Wait, of course he can breathe.
Fire? Is it fire?
We see fucking the breathe acid and slow down effect. That's what she did. No, she breathes sleep.
Yeah. But that's gas. There's like some sort of gas ignition. I don't know.
Wow. She can't control time with her breath.
It's not other realm of possibilities.
Either way, probably that you would think that if he had that kind of capability, we'd probably be a bit more like, I don't know, doing more stuff with it.
I mean, I wouldn't imagine there's a lot of demand for cold breath in the cold tundra.
It does seem like a bit of a redundant ability.
Alright, do you want cold breath and I'll step outside?
Is ice tiefling breath warm?
So there's
No, just regular breath.
So there's no
Regular breath,
So there's no one here that can actually use magic other than one scaly boy that looks as though he could breathe cold. Is that
magic?
No one can use magic here that we've met
We've
other
not
than
met
the
Yeah.
Oh, Rara sword.
yeah.
Yes. Well,
He's dead, so
that's one like.
Yeah.
That's one just like. Well, clearly was this what he? This confirms he's been at the
No,
castle.
Well, did it?
If it's
Are dragons a normal occurrence here?
I asked him. He has never heard of or seen a dragon here.
here.
Never heard of dragons.
Sorry, knows of dragons, but not heard of a specific instance of a dragon.
Yeah,
Here.
that's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, I've heard of dragons, but I've also heard of Seathins.
Yes.
Okay. Is there any like villagers that are still coming in and out of the
Yes, the buffet hall.
Initially not, but now that's kind of like an established place.
It's got to the point where
Occasionally
dinner time and people are like, oh, by the way, chicken is amazing. We should have that again.
It's a little bit more awkward. There's definitely a we don't want to take it for granted kind of vibe, but
Yeah.
it's a warm place.
Fill your boots.
There's no draft here, so people will come in even if just to, like
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm like 100%. Like There's one of those air curtains.
Did you find out whether it's his mum that was the dragon or dad?
It seemed like a sore topic.
I mean, I imagine it would be.
But to actualize on that, dragonkin are like a race, a species. There's no like direct connection to dragons in that sense.
Oh, they're not half.
I don't think so. Like, he said he was not a dragon. He was very clear that like there's some distance from dragons.
Do you think he was a person like the rest of them? Maybe he's like one and he was in it.
I think they're just a thing. That was the vibe I got.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say maybe it was an experiment or something because they were.
Where he's a man and he was made into a dragon.
Can you ask next time you have your little like yes no sessions with life? Can you ask if dragonkind are a thing or if they're created?
We know that dragonkind are a thing. We've met a bunch of dragons.
But dragons are, but dragonkind is his race.
Yeah, but dragonkind says like all dragonkind, and we know that for some reason they like to fuck about.
I didn't get to choose their name or their race name. Like it's not my fault. It's confusing.
So you've got these. You've got dragons, and then you've got dragon people, and they're completely separate.
I imagine they probably weren't complete. I wonder if that's where the gold scales.
I was going to say it's probably like maybe I wonder if it's, but then that would.
What are you trying to say about Seattle?
That they're probably changing the world around them. That would make sense actually.
Or yes,
because the scales that the people over time develop. Mm-hmm. You maybe the dragonkind is the result of a long time doing that.
Well, that's a good idea.
Long enough that Recruiter has heard of or seen another dragon?
Well, maybe to the point that it's carried on.
Or maybe that and some fuckery happened.
We could just ask.
Yes.
We could just ask.
We could ask, but that's impolite.
I don't know these people. I'll just ask.
I did ask about the culture of dragonkind, and he said he didn't know much about it. Because he's quite a solitary creature, rather than living in a town of dragons.
Okay.
So we may need to go and find other dragonkinds and then ask them.
I don't know how
directly.
I don't know how useful this will be, but I might be able to just try and see if I can get a clear answer about where he. But that also feels like a complete waste of a man who's just trying to stay in a village, protect his people, and I have no reason to suspect otherwise.
Yeah, but he's different. That's suspicious.
Are you saying he could harm the greater good?
What? Who cares about the greater good? I'm just want to know the answer.
It's different. That's the problem.
My concern is we keep leaving power vacuums, but the last power vacuum left had a structure placed. This one, if there has to be other villagers around.
Is there any townsfolk in the right? I just go over and grab one.
Okay.
I just walk over. Walk over and I'm like,
murdering again. They're taking one. They picked one.
It's like black fire everywhere.
Everyone immediately leaves. It's knowing you.
Well, it was nice when it lasted. That's Jim dead.
I just use that ball and cause darkness for 10 minutes. No.
Yes.
Weird question. Are you guys the only villagers, like the village that's here? Like, is there other villages, other towns, other cities? Is this a thing? Or as far as you're aware, you're the only people in this?
Woman, tiefling as well. I mean, I've never seen any other people other than you, not from here.
Yeah, but I mean, like not from this town. You've
No,
never seen.
not from
No one's
here.
ever travelled. There's no tales. There's no.
So you've seen the. You've seen the.
Reaver, like the shaking and the interrupting. Reaver's like, it just waves his hand and just she becomes warm.
You made it piss.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
You've seen the kind of town in the valley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think maybe 6 generations ago, people used to live there.
Okay.
It was called Rhymeville.
Okay.
People moved away from the palace for good reasons.
Yes.
Very
inhabited by psychos.
imaginatively called this New Rhymeville.
Okay.
Ooh. That's about as far as it goes. As far as we know, I've never seen other
There's not even be like stories about like, is there stories of like creatures from far off places, anything like that?
Of course there's
monster story. Yeah.
Yeah, of course there's monster stories of far off places, but
Yeah.
they're mostly brought by she like you can tell she's trying to gesture in the direction of the palace, but she's inside a pocket dimension, so she's having a like
Points at the door.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Rikrego.
Mm-hmm.
Where are they from?
Why do you ask?
Okay. Because everyone here isn't a walking dragon-like person, and I'm assuming they came from somewhere, unless someone had...
Well, of course they came from somewhere, but they're also a friend, and listen, I'm just trying to make sure you're not looking for your next target to sacrifice to some creepy cult that you might secretly still be a part of.
One time.
Look at like the party and I'm like,
All of them are like looking down, you look up, and everyone like immediately continues having their food totally inconspicuously.
oh, like, do you think like we're with... Okay.
Well, you're the first to come here and
Change things.
Fucking village.
be nice.
No,
And that's different and therefore bad.
Exactly.
Okay, so...
I like that
Let's
one.
drop the pretense.
So
Everyone
what you're saying
join the
is,
conversation.
we came in, we got rid of the biggest problem you people are having, and we're trying to find out if there's anything else going on here that could be terrible. And for some reason, no one wants to talk about where the dragon gang came from. Doesn't it interest anyone? Like, if no one comes from anywhere, if there's nowhere else other than old Rhymevale, which is ruins, and new Rhymevale, which
You're
is
just
here.
going to... You're not going to bring him any harm?
Well, it depends if you're going to be like, oh, he comes from a village far to the east where they eat children. Yes, I'll probably bring him harm. But if you say, no, he's
course
from
not.
the dragon village that's up the road, I'll be like, oh, cool, there's a dragon village.
The answer's neither. As far as I know, he was born in the palace. I don't know to who. He ran. The people that lived there were not a forgiving people.
Yeah,
They don't really take to people deserting.
right. They're all dead now, though. So
Yeah, but you can't fault us for being careful.
I'm not faulting you for being careful. I'm saying that it's fine now.
Yeah, you say that. They also sometimes said things were fine.
Yeah, but then they also had big automatons that tried to come and kill people.
You brought one into the town earlier today.
And it's building up.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm not just taking you for your word. It takes a little bit more than 2 days for me to trust a stranger.
I really respect that attitude.
Shut up, Sam.
You're inspired.
Bane.
Great about that.
Look, we're leaving in like 2 days. We just want to see if we can do any more good here before we leave. You can take that with whatever you want. It doesn't matter. In the long run, we're going to leave in like 2 days, and this place is probably going to be better than where we left it. So,
Probably.
Can be
And I really
worse.
appreciate that.
yes, what we are worried about though is that we're going to leave, and without that guy there, other things from elsewhere are going to try and come in and fill in the spot where they have left.
Dinosaurs.
Honestly,
Yeah, it could be, actually.
I've never seen another soul out here. If there are other people that live in this place, they live far enough away that they can't travel to us.
Okay. So here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Currently,
Mm-hmm.
my friend up there, and I point to the frostbitten ears of Uridrin,
Mm-hmm.
is an ambassador of sorts.
Mhm.
And these people are wanting to sort of open up ways between here and there, that kind of thing. And it's a lot
here.
warmer everywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot more food and there's a lot more supplies, and it could theoretically be a good thing in the long run. what I want to say is that something that you would be maybe partial to? I'm just floating the idea. I haven't even.
I think a lot of people are still so busy trying to get by. It will be some time for them before they realize that they can live without having to look over their shoulder every day.
Yeah.
And maybe when that time comes, they might think about moving to greener pastures.
Okay.
I think the need for survival is so high right now.
It might be sped up because the palace isn't going to be there very much longer.
Okay.
So at least the monument to the sins isn't going to be there.
Oh.
Make people feel better. So you trust this Recrego guy?
Yes.
Okay. Does she seem genuine?
Roll an insight check.
And they're inspired, they want to deceive.
Mind control.
Can I have a perception check as well?
A perception check as well.
Just from
He's actually got mind
Yes.
control.
Perception check is a 19, but the insight check was like 10.
Whisper!
Oh my god, whispers!
It's a fucking this is the thing. How these people survive cannibalism. That's how.
That's how. And honestly, keeping track of cannibalism and marriages.
No, we're not doing
in
that.
a setting like this.
It's Recrego who's eating the other people because he's got mind control breath.
Yes.
They're all under his
No,
control.
it's slow down time effect, Brett.
Like dragons
So they can't
are mind
escape while he
controlling
eats them.
dragons. It makes
Yes.
perfect sense.
Coal is just for show.
Thanks. And I head back up.
Like, thanks for the warmth.
Apparently it's gonna be here for another. How long are we gonna? I yell over these. How long? Are we gonna-
24 hours after my last nap.
No.
Here.
2 days.
So 2 days and then
It's gonna be about for 2 days. Just if you're gonna make the most of it, make the most of it.
probably
Okay.
2.5.
Tell everyone to make the most of it as well.
It'll be here for a bit, like after we leave.
All right.
Daenerys starts to make trees out of snow, like snowmen, but trees.
Inside or outside? Okay.
Bringing snow into the foyer, like yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a
It
tree.
melts almost immediately and then there's Sam's mopping it up.
Aww.
So, what are your plans?
To be bored and to let everybody know it.
Heavy armor training.
Yeah. Are we not? When are we leaving? What's happening?
Yeah, and how are we leaving?
My husband here has really cold ears and I think it's best that we give him 2, maybe even
We-
3 days.
We
to rest.
wait for the ears totally.
Yeah.
But what are we doing? Because I want a solid plan.
Are you?
What afterwards?
Yeah. Yes. Afterwards.
Like no, like I meant like isn't after dinner or after his
No,
ears
after,
are no
after
longer
we
there?
leave.
Oh, we're going to heaven.
Where we're going? We're going to.
I'm not sure I've been good enough.
We're going to go see your dad,
Yes.
right?
I
And
genuinely
apparently you're. Wait, was that shared?
Which one? Prison Break, yeah?
Think so.
Again,
Yeah.
That's
Set to Finn, I'm
Set to
pretty
Finn.
sure.
That you,
And yeah, sure.
that you are the tuning key.
Yeah.
Yes.
oh yeah.
That
I
was
don't know what this means, but sure.
the chat was up when I was in,
Yeah.
so everyone heard what I heard.
So similar to how we got here via Nax. We can go there via you.
Oh
However-
no. Where do
however-
I lead?
Question: 2 things. One,
So bad end.
do we not? We can go back to the material plane for 2 reasons. One, what are we going to expect from the plane of iron? Do we know? Does he isn't?
Well, if we don't know, we will because knowledge, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
The only thing we know
could
is
research it.
Daenerys' dad's there, whose name is like a song. Don't know that one yet. And it's comfy.
Angels
So,
are scary powerful.
yes, angels are scary powerful.
Like,
Oh, we have beat one though.
this is true, but they were like
I thought they were a mini.
they were definitely like not in their best game face in the Chaos Realm.
Oh yeah, they had given up everything they stood for.
Quick question. You didn't tell your dad Finn's name.
He did not.
Finn's name.
No.
Yes.
No,
Because he knew my name.
He knew your
My
full name.
surname is what? Yeah. My last name and everything.
New full name. And Lyra was asking about names earlier as well. And I'm wondering, do you know anything about names with regards to souls? Do you know anything about names with regards to like trickery and trappery and fey shenanigans, Middle East? And you know all kinds of hidden and forbidden knowledge, so I'm also asking you.
I don't know, if you tell me your name, I can work out.
I've told you my name.
Your real name.
Why does everyone think Sam isn't my real name? I've chosen it. It's mine now.
Mostly because you don't believe a single word that comes out of your mouth.
What if we
I
go
said-
to Ioun?
My wedding vows were real.
Like what?
If we go to Ioun and we're stuck,
I would be stuck.
My dad will unstuck us.
but he can't unstick
No.
himself.
I'll just banish.
I'm glad you said
Goodbye.
anything.
Thank you.
Also, you're attuned to the material plane.
We have a big bunch of these, and like I'll like wherever the fucking
Key
keys
basket.
are.
Yeah.
We've got a bag of keys that go to places.
Yeah, but like, what if we arrive and I'm
Sam's
like, I've been
using them.
expecting you, and then it's like, okay, no, we don't like this, and it's like, well, you're stuck here now.
Then we
Because-
do the same thing we did. We set fire to the place. We cut at least one person's head off. We leave a power vacuum. We save his dad, and we leave.
Sounds like a plan.
That's like our.
Cannot keep escalating.
This is it, right?
No,
This
that
is
ends
our
with
motto.
our death.
Where do we go after decapitating a god?
What is your happy
World?
ending?
No.
We've already done that.
We've already done it twice now.
Oh, they weren't
actually.
really a god.
That
They
was
were god
that was
and a king.
No,
No.
God Kid, no, a Dramalek.
Adrenaline.
Was like a mostly dead.
He was he was.
What
You
you're
had one
I
foot in the
do
grave.
not want us escalating this because I do not want to fight a god again.
That is lies. You've been trying to fight a god this entire time, and you keep calling it a god, and
Flirt.
it keeps
Wrong
annoying.
F word.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm not sure whether I feel called out or seen.
Both.
Second of all, thank you for acknowledging my position on the matter.
Okay.
For at least validating it.
No, I think
I
probably we would just fight our way out of it. That's
Yeah.
kind of normally what we do, right?
I still
Why do you
think.
think that will be possible against an actual god?
I still.
Fight, flee, flirt.
This sounds like an excellent game. Okay,
Because-
fight, flee,
no.
flirt, fuck. Let's pick all of our deities.
I could wild shape
Which
into
and why?
I could wild shape into a guinea pig, and then you just send me in.
What?
Well, it's.
You want to go to
I'm
Ioun
sorry, you can
as
wild
a
shape
guinea
into
pig?
animals?
I can't, but I could imagine it really hard.
That doesn't work for you, does it?
I don't know. I think so.
Wait, have you tried?
I think of a guinea pig really, really hard.
I cast polymorph.
There was
So I
a,
suddenly get visibility.
there was a
You
point.
summon 8 guinea pigs. 8 guinea pigs.
I can summon her.
I've made careful note of their appearance, and from henceforth, whenever I summon the magnificent Manite, there are 8 guinea pigs.
Okay.
It's these 8. You may name them.
Yeah. No, I think we'd be okay.
I still would
I
prefer
don't-
to go back to the material plane, where our supplies and our support is,
And future.
and
life
inquire a little bit more about. Hey, very powerful people who have dealt with other powerful people. Hypothetically, what would you do in this situation that's not
we're
going to
very
happen to us?
powerful people who've dealt with very powerful people.
We are actually very
It's
powerful.
true.
We're
not-
We'll be,
None of us are collecting
If I'm going to cut
followers.
someone's head off, I want to do it with my rapier.
we're sort of going to be struggling with the finding people who are kind of more qualified than us at this point.
Well, I think once you reach the point where you're someone that you could pray to them and receive power, or sell your soul to them and receive power, and I feel like Zeathans is one of those people.
I also feel like there
I'll take your
can't
soul.
No.
really be any drawbacks to
What would you give me
seeking
for it?
knowledge about a god of knowledge.
Yes.
Beyond your wildest.
Next,
Sad
can I have an Arcana check from you?
I keep waiting to hear saving throw of some sort. I want a villager to
This is
start
cool.
something.
Okay, we all need therapy.
Resistance.
How much?
17.
Okay.
Mind stroke.
I very quietly.
resistance.
Very quietly.
You didn't know he was checking for anything.
He's always checking for some reason. No.
I thought you cast resistance.
When you travelled here,
Mm.
it took quite a bit of effort,
Mm.
and you felt like you were travelling
quite a distance in terms of how much energy it took, and just the physical sensation of it. It was different than teleporting on a material plane. It felt like you traveled further than when you came back from Eridrian's home. You have all seen Luna's very rudimentary drawing of how she believed part of the planes worked.
This is off-road.
You've also seen a more historical version of this.
Here they be dragons.
I have it. Hang on.
There's
No.
there's a distance that you think needs to be traveled that right now you're probably as close as you can get.
Yeah.
This is
Shit.
quite possibly the closest starting point. The
So
jump is smallest
This is the
from
way
here.
station.
Or if it's on the other side of the material plane from us, the longest.
But your DM just said
Notwithstanding.
otherwise, so I probably don't think so.
I'm not fucking with you, I'm fucking with that.
Or if it's like all spinning rollers and we actually just jump into this void and then wait. and then go drop
Yes,
it.
exactly. We wait for the plane.
Okay.
Just inside Magnificent
And then
Mansion.
Yeah, we
come along at
don't
once.
move, it all moves around us.
Yep, and eventually the Magnificent
Oh.
Mansion door impacts this other plane.
So
Oh, that's a point.
It's a spell jam.
No, I was gonna say, in the realm of a god, who is that's their domain,
Reaver doesn't know much about gods.
who controls that domain and every aspect of it, would they let another god or force's power in there?
Ooh.
Are we gonna be?
Chaos couldn't stop. Chaos
I
could
kept
stop
my
us.
bedroom door locked behind all the time.
Chaos could not stop us.
But
And
tried to
even in wherever the fuck we were with Chaos.
with the maze. It was difficult to cast spells for some of us, but not impossible.
But I still got through.
Exactly.
So,
You even saved me that one time through that mirror thing. I appreciate
yes, no. I think is the answer.
One way to find it.
it. So here's a question for you. Chaos is like a constrained force of nature.
Yeah, I would say that Chaos is probably going to probably in the state that they
Power
were
status?
in was probably because I'm guessing that they're tapped out or whatever it been because they've been disconnected for a long time.
I know that deities seek worshippers because they like it, but also I think it's a function of power.
There's also a definitive trickle down effect probably considering the two scopes here. I've seen one half, like looking at the drawing, it's the dark half of like I've seen one half and there's not much I could think could be bigger than that. So probably it's going to be okay. I would also hazard a guess that like
Thanks.
Oh.
yeah.
Pretty.
Yeah.
So we're theoretically we're
Yeah.
going to be jumping into one of
Yeah.
This is the old
yeah. This is
Yeah,
not the one
it's
that
not like that now.
version
Yeah.
you saw.
Luna's one was more zoomed
Oh, yeah,
out,
wait.
right? There was more detail to it.
No, I think the inner layer and the purple layer are missing
Less.
these days.
Yeah.
I'm talking about what we're gonna do. Fucking we own this part.
We don't own it.
I
But
So
yeah,
where on the new map is the plane of Ioun?
I can imagine it's one of the floaty boys, the
floaty
wee
boys
circles.
don't exist at the moment, according to Luna.
Well,
No,
aren't
just
they're the areas
know
that she
about
wasn't allowed to learn about?
She wasn't allowed to go there.
Yeah.
So they're not on the map?
Well, no,
she never. She gave you what she knew,
Description, not map.
and she
Yes.
she pointed out the
and
the-
she said that
those
there was
areas that-
more, but
Mm.
she never was allowed to go beyond.
Okay. So
She just knew there was
I'll
more.
have to go beyond. Does that suggest that these things are like outside the diagram? I
yeah.
don't know what that
Yeah.
No,
West
the
John.
diagram that Luna was using doesn't have the external ring, right?
Does
The
that
brown
show-
ring around the
it
centre,
does
is
have
that a
the
different plane?
elemental
Does that-
ring. It
does
does have
represent
the purple
the-
That's
ring.
that's the
Yeah.
material.
I
Cool,
assume
cool,
it's
cool.
chaos,
Was that-
but I don't know.
Do we honestly think this is an accurate depiction in the 2D literal linear kind of form, or
I
So the way you saw it, it was more
Exactly.
like a
It was a-
orrery
it was an orrery.
style. Yeah.
It was an orrery. when we
Okay,
saw it.
so-
Barbara Shaw with the aurora.
But it's really difficult for me to create an orrery on paper
So we're as close as we're going to
Unity
get.
engine.
This would be the best place to go to Iron afterwards. That's fair, but I'm also very hesitant to go into a realm of a god of knowledge without sufficient knowledge.
I mean, surely we would get it when we go there. There's a realm full of it, right?
Depends. Are any of us supplicants of knowledge? I am constantly seeking for it, but I don't worship. I don't have like a library card.
Again, you don't have to worship it.
Don't you?
No.
No. I just like
How do you make friends then?
I just burst into flames in front of you, and then it diminishes, and I'm like, I don't worship it. That's not how it works. It doesn't have to work. I can imagine it works for some people, but
Yeah, you made a deal though.
I didn't, and I just kind of have the flame in my
Yeah,
hand.
but you hold a very passionate belief in the sanctity of life.
I feel like you're cherry picking around
Yeah.
the one rule
Fucking
fits all.
Mrs. Imagineer over there.
We're standing in a dimension constructed by
you.
your head.
Yeah.
You're lucky the chairs aren't mimics.
Sit down to something that's gonna. No.
I would hate that as Reaver, but Ryan would love a combat round of yeah.
Magnificent Mansion 2.
Magnificent.
Raised by his elfin mother as a single child, Denarian's mom talked little of his human father. Apparently he was a great man. Growing up in a secluded village, there was no religion or magic, there were barely visitors. Here, there was only the circle of nature. Denarian made himself useful to his clan as hunter, but he never stopped being distracted by life outside the forest lands, and his curiosity of humans often got him in trouble. Even more so when he learned that somewhere people could apparently do magic. Finally, and not unexpectedly, the day came that he set out, against the wishes of his peers, and ventured beyond the forest. Denarian found that there were many things he wasn't ready for. Currency, for one, was an entirely foreign concept to him. He also learned that people can be cruel and harm for fun when he freed and stole a wolf pup from a trader's cage. Yet none of this deterred Denarian from wanting to enjoy the crazy chaos of the wider world. When he heard rumours that magic could be taught in a faraway capital of a different continent, Denarian and Greki boarded a ship. They would not return to Orion for a long time. The stars were especially beautiful tonight, Lady Jaina Keldia thought to herself. The pride she had once felt at her accomplishments turned into a resentful nostalgia. She sighed heavily. It had been too long since she had fed, and looked up at Simon. Her mind was already processing her next steps as she led him to the large bed. She would sate her hunger, and in the clamour of her consort's unexpected passing, would declare herself in mourning and leave her estates in the care of the heirs to the dynasty she had created. She would take on the persona of Samantha, a young woman disguised as Samuel Ransford, a travelling bard. A mask over a mask over a mask over a mask. Common practice for the 900-year-old shape-changer. All that she had learned was that being long-lived just meant watching the people you cared for die. Nothing had given her the satisfaction she had sought. Not family, not power, not the gods, not even selfish fulfillment of her every passing desire. And so, after centuries, she finally gave in to wanderlust and left Orion in search for the thrill of adventure. Even when Finric Jameson was just a small lad, he had an affinity for helping those who needed it. It started with a small bird with a broken wing that miraculously flew again, and from there evolved into apprenticing at the local temple, where he learned the arts of medicine until his 18th name day, after which he travelled south to learn healing on the road. A plan put to an abrupt end when bandits attacked him and robbed him of all but his name and knowledge. Going from doctor to beggar, Faith was quick to introduce new opportunity to Finn, in the form of a dying dwarven man. And by saving the life of First Mate Usenthor, Finn was granted the position of ship's doctor aboard the Bleeding Crow. Here, he lived an adventurous life of scavenging, exploring, and smuggling, although never killing. But more importantly, he lived a life as a trusted friend of Captain Josephine, the devil on the water, equally feared and respected. He would never have chosen to leave that ship. That choice was made for him by Captain Soren, whose dark history with Josephine Finn never entirely uncovered. The Doctor was thrown overboard with no knowledge of what happened to his new family or Josephine, the captain he was slowly falling in love with. Instead, he woke up on a small beach, clothes torn and stiff with dried salt. With gritted teeth, he set out to find the nearest city and means for revenge. Waking up in a strange place, sore and nauseous, Nax couldn't quite remember where he came from, or how he ended up in this endless field of long grass. All he remembered was that someone or something had seriously pissed him off. It took him some time to find his way across this strange landscape, and when he finally found the city, he was starving and angrier than he had ever felt. It didn't take him long to find the nearest tavern, where he proudly demanded the guests make space for him and serve him his food. "I said leave, lest you be damned." When they laughed in his face, the anger was tempered slightly by confusion. Why weren't these peasants quivering in their boots at the mere sight of him? Nax raised a hand to neck level in a choking grip whilst lofting the other overhead as if cradling some orb. Nothing happened. Rage was now replaced by confusion and perhaps even some fear, as he snatched some food and ran, huddling in an alley with only a cloak to protect him from the elements. Slowly the realization dawned on him that he had lost something very important, and that he would have to work like some lowly wizard to get it back. Stealing a spellbook and focus, he picked up a rumor. The royal family was looking for an object of great power. Something he could keep for himself, perchance? If you are a bandit in the north of Padina, you better watch the shadows. Tales tell of a carnage-fueled demon that will find you should you gather too much fame. The Grim. It has been some time since Noctis Reaver took on that persona. For him, the story started when bandits pillaged a small farmer's village he lived in, when he ignored the knife at his throat to save his sister. As he lay on the floor and felt life leave him, he bargained with death. You are willing to pay for your soul by servitude, and for her life with what is equal to her worth. With the dagger that slit his throat in hand, Noctis took up the mantle of bounty hunter and started the laborious journey of evening the scales. It was a few years later when a royal courier came looking for the Grim to get rid of some nobleman the king himself could not be seen taking action against. His Royal Highness King Ansel would be most pleased to hear of your acceptance of this task, and would be most grateful for your services. Noctis didn't care much for his employers. A soul was a soul. Completing his task with ease, he set out for the capital of Astrakani to collect his payment, and to collect a new unexpected job, one that required him to join up with a motley group of 5, who he introduced himself to as Reaver. Loving to play parts of mystery and intrigue, it was both mantle and name that Eridrian put upon himself. Leaving an unexciting life and a sad past behind entirely, he surrounded himself with the more magical and dangerous aspects of the Feywild, and became an emissary for the Seelie court, spreading the good word. Yet curiosity still plagued the Eladrin. Often he went to those big doors wrought from golden branches. No noise could be heard through them, but he knew court would be in session. There had to be another way in. Searching the ever-changing halls, a voice like a soft summer's breeze interrupted his sneaking. Lost a path? And ever since, Eridrian walked with renewed step, and in her name. His journey to the material plane began when he received a direct summon from her, to find and retrieve an artifact of great power, in the form of a book. Setting out, Eridrian infiltrated a strange and dull palace, working together with a group of hired humans. Dodging traps and guards, he managed to retrieve the mysterious tome, its cover slightly hairy and of an ever-shifting grey colour, and with a closed eye on the front. Wanting to quickly escape, he used the planeshift scroll that Tatiana had given him, only to feel an uncanny tug mid-teleport. And rather than finding himself in the Seelie halls, he found himself unceremoniously dumped in the bathtub of a very confused doctor.
I know I'm asking the hardest thing.
We're going to Ayun.
We're going to Ayun.
When?
2 days.
Okay.
2 days.
I think it's warm there.
I want to spend more time practicing.
Time skip.
It's just because I know that the Nerian is pushing for I'm
Heaven.
bored.
Oh, but no, but don't worry about that. Like,
Okay, you're just going to be bored for 2
the
days.
Nerian will just make like snowmen and like, melt
Yeah.
and then just get
Yeah.
lost.
No worries.
Don't worry about the Nerian.
In that case, in those 2 days,
Yes.
is there anything other than defrosting
Do practice.
that you would like to do?
I know
Practice.
I can become fluent in a language in 3 days. I know I can.
Sure.
Correct both.
So there's a few things I want to do back at the palace before leaving, and
Yeah,
then the
go
rest
for
of
it.
my hours I want to spend learning spells. Kind of
What are the
how many
things you
hours
want to
I
do at the
have.
palace?
I want to see how far they've got with dismantling the palace, and I want to go check on the one guarding the altar, and I want to cast a spell there as well. And then I'm going to take the rest of them back with me to the village.
Starting with the dismantling. I'm pretty sure you were in the room with Ramazor when Reaver and Sam fought the one statue. But they are capable of some magic. And when you go back there, you find that a few of them have actually managed to go to the upper level and have started bringing it down from the very top.
Very sensible.
Considering the state of the palace, their strength, and the fact that they are very much using, bulldozing, bludgeoning style weapons,
They also don't sleep.
exactly. Their work is fairly efficient. If one of you were to venture outside of the mansion at nighttime when it's quiet, if there's a moment of no wind in the far off distance, you can hear the like falling rocks. Arriving there might be some sense of satisfaction when you see that where your old prison stood is gone. Basically, the uppermost floor, the sanctum for the most privileged, is more or less entirely gone. It's just the floor that's left there, and they are working on it. The one that's guarding the altar, still standing there, doesn't respond to you, but when you come within 10 meters, but that is to be expected. So seems to be doing his job as far as you can tell.
Cool. While I'm here, I want to cast contingency so that just my arms burn a little bit if someone enters this space.
Okay.
And triggers
the altar space specifically?
Yeah. So basically, if someone's about to get attacked by the thing, I also get notified that that's
kind of modified alarm, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Longer modified
basically
alarm.
Contingency and prestidigitation.
Perfect. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. And I'll leave one of the automatons finishing dismantling stuff,
Okay.
and once you're done, head to the village.
Okay.
And then we'll head back with the other ones.
You take the rest back with you. There again, first you brought one, people were hesitant, but then there's Sam and Finn being nice. Now you're bringing 4, and people are having a
Is this all of them now, except the one that's guarding the...
All but 2.
All
Yeah.
but 2.
So again, people are questioning.
I have concerns.
Yeah.
I'll let enough of a crowd gather.
Okay. And if it seems like you're waiting, the crowd gathers. Definitely.
Yeah.
Now over time, you
Everyone
notice.
form a line.
Yeah, you notice there's, people are kind of hesitantly crowding around you. Looking at them, they seem to be as well armed as these people can probably be. But they're there. They're looking at you expectantly.
So gesturing to the... These will not do you any harm. In fact, they're going to remain and they're going to protect your village. They'll stand at the edges, and so long as no one does anyone any harm, they'll just remain as guards. But if anyone tries to kill anyone, then they will deal with that person.
Do what must be done.
I'm gonna let you choose. Do you want to roll a persuasion or an intimidation check?
I assume so.
How do you want it to come across?
I mean, neither really. It's just fact.
Yes.
Just facts.
The impression that you're leaving behind.
Yeah, that's good for them. I'm trying to
Okay.
be positive.
Roll me a persuasion
Yeah.
check.
Good. I don't know.
It's one of my lesser
Were you-
modifiers, but it's my best roll of the night. So
Did you let any of us know you're making a speech?
I mean,
This feels very nice.
19.
Yeah.
Okay.
God.
You see people look at each other and like they're waiting for the
But
and you will come with me and be my blood sacrifice. And that doesn't come.
that's all.
Do the statues all
And then-
awkwardly walk away?
The younger kid that you spoke to the first night
yes.
goes, "Told you so! Yeah!" And there's a moment where
I like that kid.
that kind of awkward, like, ah. And then some other people who,
Can we be like spread out and they're kind of going?
sure, you can definitely, yeah, but there's almost a, people don't really know how to react to this. They've not had positive leadership. So there's a cheering, maybe not,
Developers.
but there's a good impression that you're leaving here? Maybe?
Certainly better than the last.
The dragon Ken's reaction
Yeah.
is okay,
Okay.
nodding.
Nothing.
Yeah, but in a like, okay, I did not expect.
Damn, I will not be able to.
You've
move these
outlawed
people.
murder here. Touche.
What is the command you give these statues?
Destroy.
Consume.
Are there clear like entrances to the village? Multiple one.
Not really. It doesn't have a proper wall around it, but it's definitely there is a fairly clear line of where you have houses and where there's no more houses. So
Okay.
you could definitely do a all wind direction
Yeah.
kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, outside the boundaries, they're not in the boundary, but clear equidistant points
Okay.
outside to stand guard. But yeah, basically, they are there to protect the village and anyone who tries to do harm to the village or the inhabitants. They should deal with in a severe manner.
Okay. Noted. Very good.
Also noted that it's inclusive of themselves as well.
Very nice. Okay.
Did you give them the first 3 laws of robotics?
While the entire crowd are there,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm guessing somewhat this is most, if not all, of the village, right?
Mhm.
I am going to. My eyes are going to do the pupils turn to like the small kind of cross-like shapes, and I cast True Sight just to have a scan of the crowd to see if
Nothing
anybody
hidden.
isn't who they're supposed to be, or
Because what's
Ah, it's Sam.
that changed? No, yeah,
Right.
Sam hiding in the corner, invisible.
Otherwise, there's nothing hidden or illusory here.
even within like not just the people, the village, the buildings. I want to take a nice walk around the village and make sure that there's nothing like untowards, nothing hidden from previous occupiers, that kind of thing.
It
Important
really
question.
seems to be just what it is.
Reaver, are you doing your special eye thing right now?
It's like it's obvious if you look at them in the eyes. Yeah.
But well, I mean, you've got different things that you can do, and your eyes do that for
Yeah.
each of them. Are you doing the seeing through illusions thing?
Mhm.
What does the matinee look like on the inside to you?
Oh.
Yeah.
I walk in.
It's not an illusion. It's a pocket dimension.
Yeah, I know.
It just looks the way it looks.
I mean, everything's pretty much real, right?
Cool. Do the Sams look like the Sams?
No, because they're just constructs that you've made. I think they all just look like what they look like. Do they all just look like what they look like? They don't look like a copy of...
Sam.
They can't look like a copy of you.
Exactly.
Because you don't know what you look like.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Also,
If you've created any hidden
You know what?
passages,
Reaver's gonna...
then Reaver will see
there's a
them.
couple.
Yes, so you'll see a couple of hidden. One of them probably on the stage,
I'm like...
Why
but
is one going into Finn's room?
Yeah, I'm like... Where does Finn have 2 doors in his...
I never!
Another Sam comes out of it. I'm like... Sam!
The Finn Sam comes out of it.
Oh, that's weird. Okay.
but no, it just looks like
I dropped
It
True
looks like-
Sight and then scrub my eyes with soap. Okay, so... Not once. Okay, cool.
There's more than
I
that.
just take a scan of our party as well, just in case there's anything on us that we've picked up over the time. Oh, the cloak.
cloak.
Yes, because Sam came up and spoke to me.
I was
so
waiting on you finishing.
I was
yes.
like, okay, going through equipment.
Hi.
Okay. What does Lyra look like?
3 souls in a trench coat.
So it's a little bit like when you look at Sam, that there's a double appearance there. You see the cape, but you also see this vague outline of a humanoid silhouette.
Mhm.
It still has that kind of like misty structure to them. They look like you know that you can see things through form.
Yeah.
And it looks like the closest to the true form that they can get is that misty structure.
So do they seem more like an elemental than...
No.
No.
More like some form of transformation has taken place here. But there's definitely the silhouetted outline of a person there.
So I can't see what the person was or...
You can't see what they were, you see what they are.
Like
Their
Right.
true form.
physical
So-
form has
so-
maybe been destroyed.
Right, so it's that kind of like... In the same vein, Reaver's seen actual spirits.
Mm-hmm.
And that discorporeal type of when things start to drift, is it similar like that? Or is
Roll
this
an Arcana
like...
check.
Disco-populated.
To get advantage because of the area of expertise that
Roll me
Reaver
straight up
has.
Arcana check.
Okay.
I wish I'd inspired you and not the random
12.
12?
New
That's not a...
It is a new day.
Do you want to use
for this.
your...
Yeah.
Yeah.
God lore.
Plus 3, 15.
Oh, that's
Okay.
a threshold.
With your own knowledge and the knowledge of the beyond that you have,
Mhm.
you're not looking at anything spiritual, but by that I don't mean like spiritual, I mean like nothing spirit-like.
Yeah.
This is not a ghost
Mhm.
or a soul.
Mhm.
It's more like something's true form has been changed.
Right. In the same way that like a lot of things in the Chaos realm were like a bit hinky. Like there was like dogs, but their like skin was like on the outside and stuff. Like that kind of like it's been affected by a...
Doesn't strike you as anything chaotic per se.
No.
No.
I just mean like in the same form of like it looks as though it's been done to, or is it like
Done
it
to.
looks like... Yeah. Okay.
That with a 15,
Right.
that's stretching it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Straight.
While I'm there, I'll just wave to see if they can see me. I want to see how aware they are.
Sam, why are they waving at me?
Oh. Hi.
Hey.
A message?
Do you want me to wave back?
Yes, I do want that very much.
You see
But
the
only if you're comfortable.
cape transform
Mm-hmm.
into the mystic form, misty form that it takes on.
You need to get rid of it. It's a mystic. Those things are horrible.
You did this!
into the misty form. And when it does so, right, you see two misty forms like layered on top of each other. Like when you look at Sam, you see two figures layered on top of each other. And it's like their true form is still this misty shape, but it's a lot less erratic. When the cape transforms into this misty figure, it's the bits of mist are like drifting off it. It looks like it's almost falling apart and then holding itself together again.
Right, but that looks like a... That's not how it is though, that's just the form that it's taking.
An affectation.
Okay,
that's what you
so
see. It waves at you.
So it's
and then says, "Hi, hey, hi. I'm waving back."
Hi. Weird question here. What are your intentions with Sam?
Do you want me to leave for this conversation? I have a conflict of interest.
No.
No, don't leave.
Oh, that's a good point. I won't. Also, insights. This whole thing.
I don't have an intention. I can't have intentions anymore.
Oh. Can't have intentions anymore.
Oh my god, that's horrible.
What happened to take them from you?
Roll me a D100.
God damn it! I was like, you don't have to answer this shit. She gets, where's my percent at? She gets, they get very, 52?
Middle of the road.
Very, yeah.
Yeah, we get another data point. I can add it to my list.
You're about to get a bunch of data points.
Still with us? Oh, thank God.
I don't think I'll tell you that.
Oh.
Any reason why?
I'm sorry, Dave.
You're going to be hanging around with us for a while, right?
Yes.
Sam, why are they asking me this? I don't want to talk about it.
Then you don't have to. But they're asking because they are my friend and they want to get to know you. And that's how friends get made.
All of them were angry at me. That's why. Don't be angry at me, right?
I'm not angry at you.
Just disappointed.
Or disappointed. Shut up, Ghost of Adrian.
Okay, so they were angry. So people took it away from you. Did people do this to you?
Again, you don't have to answer if you don't want to.
You hear in your head, through the telepathic bond that you have with Lyra, he thinks people could have done this.
He underestimates you.
You get no response.
Telepathically, I'm like, wait, no, which?
Did you put up the bond? I know that you quite often say you put it up unless otherwise stated.
I mean, if this is the point where I'm back with the party.
Yeah, I pick up the wrong. Oh, trauma. Sorry, wrong line.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely. You can telepathically convey that.
Okay, not people. Did you do it to yourself? And there's like the young kid exterior fades away, and it's the silvery, steely, like you could be fucking with my friend type of.
What did you roll on insight?
17 plus 9, 26.
Okay.
Also, when this happens, like I take like almost a protective half step.
The only way you know this is because of your
We have a bond.
yes, because you're attuned to an item that is sentient, and
Who did this to you?
as Reaver takes on this appearance, there's a twinge of fear there.
Smart.
It's like
I think we've had.
I don't think I can't remember.
That's okay. I think we've had enough conversation for now, Reaper.
I don't.
Let's go.
They walk back to you, touch you on the shoulder, and turn back into the cave.
Even as a kid, you saw me wave. Just know there's a standing order on my friend Sam.
For clarity, what he's saying is if I turn into a monster, he'll execute me. But that's what... he's a very unique kind of friend, and I wouldn't let him bother you. Let's go do something else.
Are you sure he's a friend?
Great question.
That toxic girlfriend.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's just like,
I can't believe let you see it.
Now is the moment Sam just tried to betray the party.
Don't
That's
believe
all.
that decision was made a long time ago.
like Reaver sort of vying on the fact that regardless of what it is, right? We've been in Chaos's dimension with Chaos literally making out with Sam and Sam's form.
That wasn't chaos. That was
No,
creation
that was the
of
creation of Chaos. But that kind of orgy thing was happening during all that, and Sam still went, nah, this isn't for me. So I don't think a liar is going to be like the one that turns Sam against us. But still, it's one of those. It's more making
point.
No, it's a threat. It's a
No.
threat. It's a threat. It's a threat. It's a threat. Fuck with my friend and I'll destroy you. That was the ambience.
Fuck around and you're splinters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Lyra will trust me more if Lyra is showing signs of fear. So, let us put ourselves between the source of fear and Lyra.
I can change them.
I just think I can fix them.
Yeah.
Because
Roll me a d20.
Oh.
Sorry to interrupt you halfway through.
No, that's okay. What do I add?
Nothing?
Then 14.
Okay.
But with Jack of all trades, that would be 16.
As you're like, there's been enough conversation and you kind of purposely walk away. You hear them say, this Reaver. He sees like others see. And I don't trust it. You've not heard this voice before.
It's very nice to me. Thank you.
That's it.
Yep, that's it.
Reaver just death stares until they're at the end. Like, it's like proper like, I'm gonna fucking cut you up into little tiny pieces
Out of curiosity,
and set you on fire.
not that I would
Cut
see
those
this,
ashes
but
off.
was there any change to the misty form when that happened?
No.
Cool, thank you.
I
See,
have.
the others see, or like others see.
I have a question. I have a request. Finn, on one of the nights, it could be any of the ones before we head off, wants to go to the group, says, we're here, we're as close as we're going to get to Iron, but I still think that we can be more prepared. And so I've got some questions I want to ask. However,
Stop distracting me and writing down my conversations.
I know that I sometimes just ask before it's ready, and so therefore I want to put my questions to the group first. I've consulted with Nax. And
only next.
and only Nax. And therefore, after workshopping a bit, most of my time I think, I've got 3 questions I want to ask. But
Is your name?
I want to also ask Weaver, can you see anyone scrying us at the moment?
For the past little while, no one's been looking at us at all.
I can't scry.
Cool. In that case,
Punch Sam.
my questions are:
Concentration.
is Ayun aware?
Are you asking the party or are you asking the questions?
I'm asking the party the questions first.
Okay.
Settle down.
Also, I'm not speaking this. This is over the bond, so it's not being uttered.
Yeah.
Is Ayun aware that we are trying to reach Ayun?
So the second time you've asked if a cosmic entity is aware, and I just want to recognize that we need to stop naming them that.
Is the cosmic entity known as Ioun aware that we're trying to reach the realm of Ioun? Second question. Do we have the ability, as we currently are, to leave Ioun in opposition, the realm of Ioun, in opposition to the entity known as Ioun's power?
Of course we can't.
So
We're not there. We can't do it.
That's the thing.
So
If
you
We
would
might
point it
not
out.
be
I
in
wouldn't.
opposition to their power, though.
If we were, though, if we were in opposition to her power, would we be able to leave?
Maybe out. With the capabilities that we have, would Ioun be able to stop us leaving?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Workshopping.
This is why
Ioun or any Ioun affiliated.
Ioun Incorporated.
Yeah.
Or any entity that claims to be related to Violence.
Yeah.
That is in the realm in question at this time. Or could conceive
Going forward, the cosmic entity known as Ioun will be referred to as.
We get
Too much.
We get someone to find familiar, conjure up a small imp that writes all our contracts for us.
I think I can do that.
Okay.
I know a fairy. It's fine.
And this is the final one. Is the entity known as Ioun in opposition to our goal of freeing Daenerys' father?
If he is not free.
You said he couldn't leave. Is she going to be in direct opposition to
Just
that?
like a fish can't leave the sea.
No, he's left before. And
Good question.
It would be like if a turtle could leave the sea. Because a turtle can
Fish can leave the ocean once.
It's like in that book, everything's edible once.
Could you ask?
everything edible all at once.
So we're going there to theoretically jailbreak, correct?
Yeah.
This is the
Again.
goal, right?
If Ioun happens to be listening to us, I'm not in favour of
Telepathically.
Telepathic. This is why
if
it's telepathic.
Ioun happens to be telepathically tapping into us, I want to be clear.
What? Regardless, right? What happens if we get there and it isn't like a jailbreak situation?
Then
He just genuinely wanted to see you, and it means that he can't come to us, but we can just go to there wherever we want.
Then
Like,
we
this-
just
this-
drink tea and be happy.
Should we maybe ask if this is just like a can we just come and go if we please type of deal versus
we
like a
don't need to ask that.
Do we
We'll
have
just find out.
free movement? Do we need is there
But what's the purpose of doing
a
this?
visa?
I'm still going either way.
yeah,
And we'll find out.
It's more to see whether we need to pack up. So
So we can just go with our swords out, and it's all friendly. We'll spit our swords away.
But we might need
No,
that's
the opposite way around.
Take your
Remember,
sword out and pop it.
the arrows get launched, and then you can't take them back mid-launch sometimes. So
We won't launch ours, but we can go out with our swords ready.
No.
We can do that.
Because that's just
Yeah.
But this is what we are attempting is called diplomacy.
Well, okay, we keep our swords in, but we go ready to cast spells. But we just don't cast them until
The
we...
more we learn about people who might try and kill us,
This is taking too
like-
long.
But
I'm
If
totally.
I could teleport myself there
You
right now, I
waited.
would. I'd be there, right
I'm
now.
totally fine
I would
with
just
just
cast
going.
the spell.
I'm totally fine with just going right now. It doesn't have to be this big song and dance. But
Let's go.
due diligence is important in stopping.
How long does this take?
Killed.
they literally takes 6 seconds.
What if they have a specific wolf trap that will
Daenerys.
hurt Greki as soon as you arrive?
Daenerys, it takes 6 seconds. We can just have some tea and this will be done, and then we can go.
Okay, sure.
So I'll literally cast Commune.
10 minutes and 6 seconds.
You
The tea needs to brew.
I start brewing my tea.
Yeah.
It's a 2-minute brew on this tea.
Takes you an extra minute to ritual cast because you can feel Daenerys look at you
Yeah.
and it's like
So-
putting off your game a bit. Yes.
Okay, just for the sake of no, it's God's the intent is not. It needs to be explicit. Is the entity?
I mean, intent
Yeah.
intent is fine as long as it's clear to me, you're the
Okay, I just
what
don't.
you
I don't
mean.
want to have the legalese every.
No,
part of
no,
it.
no,
Okay.
no, don't be
There's a
ridiculous. You don't
difference.
have to.
I think there's a difference between what you're doing and what I can do, where I ask some random fucking entity,
Yes.
and
Yes.
then they can kind of be like, oh, one is big and one is small. but it begins with a Q."
Sometimes
And I'm like,
phrasing
"What the fuck is this?"
matters
Yes.
because it actually, even if your intent is right, what you say means
Yes.
something different. But in
Yes.
this case, you don't have to differentiate
Also-
between Ioun and it's fine.
I wouldn't put sarcasm in because they are just like
there's
they are a force of nature. Maybe they don't understand sarcasm.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Is Ioun aware that we are trying to reach Ioun?
Yes.
Oh, this is great.
Cool. So we're either fucked or we're fine, and we were always fine.
Is
Have tea ready for us.
Ioun in opposition to our goal of freeing Daenerys' father?
So, as you ask this question,
Ioun appears.
there's a. You feel like a
Sucking of air through teeth.
neither warm nor cold feeling, but it's more like a. This cannot be known yet.
No, that's figured. I'm. It's a shot in the dark. And as we currently are, do we have the ability to leave the realm of Ioun against to leave Ioun if Ioun or any other form of Ioun?
If she didn't want you
Yes.
to. The answer to that is no.
Fuck! Oh, fuck this.
I mean, technically the answer is yes, but it involves killing Ioun, right?
Oh,
Right.
that's a point. She knows.
This is Ryan. This is Ryan.
Okay.
And this, and
Yeah, absolutely. All gods must die.
Yeah.
And this is fair. She knows we're coming. And if we go, we may not be able to leave. They can stop us from leaving.
I'm not okay with a creature restraining my freedom.
We're still gonna have to go, but I just want people to know. Also, Eritrean, I know I could at least get you home, hopefully. Well, actually, none of us would be on our home plane, so.
No,
that's-
I'm gonna say that you just said that Ioun could stop us leaving,
Yeah.
and then you suddenly had
No.
a smart idea that you thought was better than a god.
No,
We've had some of those already, though.
We have,
we cut off one's head.
but it's
Apparently.
also hubris.
We've also never been up against a god of literal knowledge before.
I
You
feel like
might know everything we're thinking before we think it.
I feel
don't
like-
think about pink elephants. Don't think about pink elephants.
I feel like we're overthinking this in the way that they know we're coming. They know everything that's going to happen. We might as well just go there and see what
Yep.
happens because nothing is going to change the outcome. Right.
That's fair.
That's
In
true.
that case.
If
You
act
guys
like-
don't have to come.
Oh, I'm in.
Don't be
It's very
ridiculous.
nice of you.
That's what friendship means. It's unwavering social bonds and obligations.
I
right,
didn't
everything?
ask what Daenerys' father's name was again.
But you won't be able to understand it.
It's a song. I'm learning the song.
We've
We'll
been
ask
hearing.
him when we get there.
Yeah. Okay. So we wait. So
You
we
can't
leave
stop other
tomorrow,
things.
or we leave in 2 days' time. When
I
you.
think we've been hearing those as well. What did the other sounds do?
This is kind of in a vague amalgamation of the
Yes.
2 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also,
Always
question.
are. They're
Yes.
always-
Spell scrolls. Do they consume the material components of the spell, or are they in replacement of?
Spell scroll depends on which scroll.
I have scrolls of greater restoration. Would those then consume diamond dust?
So normally yes, but I know for a fact that you specifically got one that doesn't. So if it's just the one,
Yes, no.
then the answer is no. If you have 2 scrolls of greater restoration somehow, I'd have to double check it.
I've got 2.
In that case, give me a ping after the session and I'll double check it for you.
Cool.
Did the third voice say, I don't trust it or I don't trust him? Him.
Alright. That's in that case Finn's just like, well, I'm gonna get my ass kicked by Reaver as he starts putting on this metal. I think we should go relatively soon, and once you guys are feeling better.
Okay.
It takes like 10 minutes for him to do this.
It's. I mean, you could help.
I could, but this is.
Wait,
I'll help.
Sam, ghost version of me, help me.
You missed a buckle.
I wait for the version, like the ghostly version of me to do it. I'm
Sam
like,
comes up behind you, puts their hands on your shoulders, starts
no,
putting the buckles together.
no.
Fighting.
I'm anti-ghostingness. Let's not.
You're right.
What is this, valid for?
Okay. You can have your 2 days of activities. In terms of spell time, I think you would be able to get a full day of like spell learning in between automatons and everything. So
let's say 12, 14 hours of like learning you can get out of it if you want. Unless there's anything else people want to do.
No.
I would like to spend a little bit of time in my room just while I'm getting ready. I'm going to round up 2 of the Sams. I'm going to have them stood at either end of the room, and I'm going to practice some wine yoga.
Wine yoga.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is
Stretching over, taking the glass of wine.
Do that. Yep. And then,
So I hope I don't walk into
other
this.
side.
I need to remember to write this down because it's my mom's Christmas present. Sorry.
Perfect.
Is there any improvement in my Celestial?
It's difficult.
Yeah. It's a tough language.
In terms of proficiencies, like rules as written, do you have Celestial on there? I believe you did.
Yes, it's in the list of things I picked up with the linguist sheet. So
Yeah, exactly.
This is just a flavour for
In which case, let's see how well you understand it. Give me another intelligence check, since you do have 2 days here. Just one intelligence check, but you can add your peerless skill.
Oh, 25. 13 plus 10.
You don't think your communication would be pretty,
No.
but you do think that, with the help of gestures, you can make yourself understandable.
Cool. Conversation.
However, more interesting is that the more you hear Lyra speak this language, partially because it is so hard for you to properly find that tonal melodic intonation, you find yourself, you repeatedly do it wrong.
Yes.
And in the beginning that's frustrating, but you start to notice a pattern, and it seems somewhat familiar to you. And I'm glad you rolled relatively high on that.
Me too.
You realize you've heard it before, and although it sounds entirely different, you're pretty certain that Celestial and Infernal share the same root
I
linguistic
was going to
family.
say, ask about the brownie recipe.
So,
If I say that in Celestial.
you can't like speak Infernal and be understood in Celestial, but there's a definite once you start thinking in the one language, it's a little bit of a trap in terms that you can also, because of that, make the mistake where because a word seems similar to you, but it actually means something different.
You said your Infernal was
Ananas
black
and
metal.
pineapple. What?
But at the same
Italian,
time, there's
Something that.
at some point in time, these 2 languages were definitely related. They've grown far apart,
There's
but there's a
definitely-
root that they share.
There's definitely a third language that's right in the middle, you say?
No, I'm just
sides and then something that must be.
linguistic
Infernal.
history.
Linguistics, they probably stem from one language.
Yeah, it's like
That
how you
language
have the Eurasian language family.
Is there a language of the gods? I asked Lyra.
Tons. Telepathy.
Of course not. All languages are of the gods.
That makes sense.
Fair point.
There's one above them though.
Okay.
What?
What? No, I didn't hear what you said.
Good.
There'll be a recording.
There will be.
Timestamp. What time is it?
Reaver is going to each evening for the 2 left head off kind of a ways from the village. Find like a maybe like a kind of rocky area or something like that, or like a area that's sort of like over the hill from the village. And it's going to like clear a snowbank area, sit on a rock and sort of like kind of almost commune, like sit and kind of meditate for a bit, let the kind of cold seep in, and then have the flames kind of like flap up, and basically going to flex that kind of like whatever muscle, whatever like energy, power consuming, like trying to get as much out of it as possible, like properly going for it. So spending like all spell slots, everything high end, just all in one, just like a big to the point where there's like nothing left.
Okay.
And then wait and set in communion, have it kind of come back in, have that wait for another hour or so, like, and then repeat the process. This kind of like, so by the end of it, there's like an area that there's like no snow in whatsoever. It's like completely.
So interestingly, you find that if you do this for some time, you go down by maybe.
As in like, I want to find like a rock or like a.
Okay. Takes you some time to find a rock that's not
the goal
covered in
isn't just
snow.
to get rid of snow, it's just an effect that happens.
Okay.
Because the
So I was going to say, you're gonna go literally, and I don't mean this in a funny way, but you literally would go like about 1.5 meter just straight down.
Yeah. So like it's like it starts off kind of the kind of fire shield blaze up and everything starts. Then it spreads out to the wall. Then the wall starts to like consolidate around to the point where Reaver can just like hold the entire energy of the wall in his hands, and then let it kind of erupt forward, and it just like blasts and it kind of like plays around and with the malleable flames and everything like that for like a while, and heads back absolutely exhausted later on.
Okay.
Keeps kind of repeating the process to the point where there's like full engulfing and then extinguish. Wait, another hour passes, everything comes back. The fire kind of seeps back in, released again for like a fair few hours.
Okay. Noted.
Yeah. Sort of testing the limits to where he has a burnout.
Oh. How many short rests can I fit?
So,
how many short rests can you fit in a day? 2. Yeah.
Rules is right.
you spend your 2 days of study, boredom, and wine yoga.
Yep.
But eventually, originally, you can get rid of all of your levels of exhaustion.
I feel rejuvenated and I've invented a new sport.
Do you keep like the ear appearance? Like, sorry, as a style effect now?
I'll keep up the.
You alright?
Did you just try and assassinate Max?
Like you want to help him
I'll
before
keep up the marking.
Did you reach
Keep
the
up
tipping
the
point in
kind
that
of
chair? That's horrible.
Frostbitten.
Yeah.
Okay.
I start to think maybe I might be able to get like a longer lasting, because like makeup is usually, meant so you can remove it fairly easily.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if like maybe I could use burnt ash from a fireplace to make it last longer,
More
or
permanent henna style body art, yeah.
maybe like stains from blueberries or other fruit-based things or something.
I'm pretty sure I know you're eager, Sam, but Eridrian with his skill set unfortunately does not need your help. There's that's definitely something that you could do. Absolutely.
Just like mottled black and blue.
Yeah,
Just
totally. Kind of what do you call them? Victory battle scars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've given yourself.
Wow.
Seems like so edgy.
No, I dig it. I think that black and blue ear tattoos could be a real thing.
I mean, I'm gonna get them tattooed when we find a place.
100%.
Didn't think we could do it here.
Okay.
It's less edgy and more of an expression of my martyrdom.
I mean, if you want them burned black.
No, I've already been through the pain. I just want to make them.
I want everybody to know that you've been through it.
So,
Let's teleport. Who does the magic?
Let's say farewell to everyone, and then let them know that the place will be open for the next. If we're leaving in the morning, then it'll be open for the
No, we can
next
look right now.
16 hours, essentially.
okay. Yeah.
A cursory note to Rego. Farewell, beloved subjects. Free now of tyranny.
I like to think that we leave, but you leave the Sam's performing with like, by the way, they've left.
As you let people
orders.
know that you're leaving. There's a few townsfolk that do come in and kind of awkwardly shuffle their feet a bit. Mr. Nax, sir.
Nax.
Nax.
In a reverent way.
He's joking. That is a joke. His sense of humor is very direct and blunt.
Well, thank you.
That's not a joke. They're being serious and heartfelt.
You're welcome.
Also heartfelt.
I love you're the emotional subtitles.
And the
Yeah, okay. Well, maybe if you come by again, it's okay. I like...
You come across the place.
They're so awkward, but they're trying their best to show you some form of gratitude
I like to do the hell out of
Take
it.
it
through
back,
the
not
disbelief.
going to do anything to help with their awkwardness. I'm going to entirely let that linger and
I love
remain.
that.
And they just kind of like...
He's really grateful, but he's not saying it because he lacks the emotional capacity.
Okay, goodbye. And they turn around, just leave again, want to go.
Bye, Jason.
Yeah, exactly.
I am glad we're leaving.
Okay.
So,
Let's go.
who does the magic?
What we need to do is we need to prep Daenerys for being the key for this magic, right?
Yeah,
And like
exactly.
Reaver basically like dips his thumbs
shit.
into like ash, like into the braziers, and like draws like a big squiggly pattern on Daenerys' face, and it's like
Do I have to pretend to be a key?
Well, no, hold on.
okay, it's like a tuning key, so you have to have your arms sort of like straight up though. Yeah.
When Reaver says prepping
Throw out the buffs.
Finn gets some medical.
You need to do it from above. It'll make the teleport more accurate.
How do you teleport?
Wait, if you need a mirror, are we doing this from Finn's bedroom?
Can I cast protection from good and evil on myself?
No.
Oh yeah, let's cast things. Can I cast extra
I feel
treeness on myself?
rebuffed now.
And they wheel out a big standing.
Oh.
Hello there.
I want to grab him, but I don't want to squish it.
It'll be fine.
How do you teleport?
Can I be extra tree?
Are you actually casting?
Extra treeness, Guardian of Nature.
Okay.
So, Daenerys, we need you to hold your arms like this, in a fork shape.
They're bright.
I do
Not like
this.
this.
I
And we...
Hit it with a hammer. I make
don't
the sound.
want hands.
Mine are usually. Oh yes.
So, Max.
Unless anyone else wants to play in shift. No one take it. Okay.
Not this level.
It's gonna be really awkward if we end up in someone's house. So everyone be cool.
It was this level, but I didn't.
How, for a start, do you try and go about this? You've got a Denarium, you've got a bag of tuning forks that have arcane written coordinates on them that you know to be wrong.
I totally forgot I have Mask of Many Faces.
Yes, you do.
Oh.
I don't need to faff about with makeup. I can just magic it.
Yeah, you can.
But no, for the effect when true sight happens.
I feel like I would have done both just because I know who's in the
It's good to
party.
be covered, yeah.
That was my strategy for a
So, what was the last thing you said about the tuning fork? Tuning fork with?
So the tuning forks have coordinates on them. Coordinates, like it's they're attuned to a certain plane.
Yeah.
But those planes are no longer, as far as you're aware, those planes are no longer where they were. So the arcane coordinates on them
It used to be all here.
are
and
no
then
longer correct.
Right.
But you do have a Denarian.
Do you want me to do my wings? I can be a tree wing.
We could try that, yes. Do you not see weird colours and stuff as well?
I can do that too. I just activate everything. So I've got extra tree leaves, Guardian
Turn
Nature.
everything on.
I want to bam for my wings and activate Eyes Beyond Eyes. So I'm just tripping on all
Well,
these
let's hope
three
we're not having
things.
to fight like a giant purple Ioun worm or some shit like that one.
Do you see anything that looks like directions?
Oh, in the tuning fork.
And I'm holding like a tuning fork.
Yeah, like your weird glowy tattoos or anything? That'd be helpful, you know.
Roll me an Arcana check. Roll me an Intelligence check.
42 while we wait, Sydney.
Could we maybe perchance get Sam, I don't know, upstairs to create a circle on the floor similar to like your teleportation circle, but have it as the render of the planes or the area that we know it to be.
And we can just
19.
throw near at it and whichever bit he lands on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Throw it like a target.
21?
So, you think that Denarian, as he is, and right now, quite possibly the most in touch with wherever it is that you're going, it might be a bit crude, but blood magic is a thing. You think if you take some of that somewhat divine blood that's there and dip the tuning fork in it, it could well be attuned to wherever it is that you want to go.
You did do a blood sacrifice.
And Denarian being as attuned to the place as he is right now could be quite potent.
That's the most Nax attunement.
Does he
I've
seem
ever heard.
kind of zoned
Stab
out,
the
or is he
tune
with it still? Are you still with it?
Yeah, I've got wings. I'm a tree.
I mean, as much as
eyes.
Denarian's with you.
Do you trust me?
Yeah.
Can I have your hand? Just flicks out a blade, takes a wee
Switch
and
Okay.
flips the fork.
Okay.
Okay,
Switch.
perfect.
Thank you.
So you're the honor then. As you gather around.
No, where's Grecky? Someone hold
We are
Grecky.
Oh, Grecky's there.
This is Glecky. It's fluffy.
As you gather around and you cast the spell,
Ah, fitting.
the blood on the tuning fork
Yes.
kind of pulls over where the runes were and creates new runes in their place.
Ooh.
You feel a familiar lift in your
This seems quite
stomach.
eldritch.
Yeah.
This part's still familiar. You feel like you're falling,
It's gonna be backed up.
but where it gets different,
Uh-huh.
as you feel like you're falling into something hard. Slap in the face.
It's not comfy.
It's not
It's not
pleasant.
comfy.
No,
It's
it's
not
not pleasant. And it happens again
Ow.
and again.
Ow.
You don't take any, it's not painful enough that you're taking amounts of damage.
I learned
but
the first
it's
time I
not
put my
nice.
hands up for the second couple.
You feel like you're going through something sludgy or slimy, something that gives resistance, that's trying to pull at you, that you're falling through. And then you're falling through space.
Like literal space?
Stars?
And you take that step. And you're all familiar with that sudden landing. And you find yourself, all 7 of you,
Great success.
standing
There?
Trauma.
somewhere where it's
God damn it, again. Every time.
somewhere where it's eerily quiet, in front of a high metal rod gate on what looks like a solid grey stone plateau. Above you, you see what looks like the night sky. Next to the gate stands a stone wall with a top hit just above your head, a kind of metal rod fence. And on the gate itself, there's a single knocker shaped like a star.
Huh.
Interestingly, looking through this gate, it looks exactly like where you're standing right now. Just this grey stone plateau, night sky all around you. Looking into the distance, the horizon, the same starry night sky.
Is it the same starry night sky as the material plane?
Yes.
Interesting.
Although positions are different.
As in.
So you recognize, for example, your Great Dipper,
Mhm.
but where normally you see it there,
We're on the other side of it.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, that's
Oh, it's
tight.
inverted.
Fuck. That's fucked.
That's sick.
That raises so many
The
cosmological
sailor in me is
questions.
like,
Yeah.
oh, fucking
So
time.
many. Is it just a curtain? But it's wrapped. What? Where?
Finn's like, I'm upside down.
What's behind
I'm
it?
inside out.
Is
Where's
it
the boat?
the
I
same
can't-
sky just inverted, or is it like?
Are they same
You-
relative brightnesses?
yes.
Oh.
You just you're standing on this stone plateau. It reaches as far as the eye can see. There's a wall in front of you, just above Finn's head level with this metal rod gate. There's a metal gate in front of you.
How high's the knocker?
It's a regular.
For
Humanoid.
medium-sized creature.
Exactly.
I think you should be the one to knock it.
Oh, did you say it was normal height?
I just want to really appreciate the aesthetic here. This is.
I've knocked it.
You knock. Gate opens.
I don't know what's expecting.
Wait.
Me either.
I'm expecting someone with a list.
Nah,
Check, are you not in it?
This is probably gates of heaven, right?
As he approaches the gates to reach the knocker, can I quickly cast light in my hand?
Yes, you can. It's not dark here.
No,
not
that's not what I'm checking for.
Yes, you can cast light.
Okay.
You knock, the gate opens. And in front of you, you see what can best be described as a hoarder's dream garden. Only if that hoard was a collection of historical events. Looking around you, you see parts of history as far as the eye can reach. You see a single ship that seems to be moving slightly and seems to be repeating that same movement over and over and over again. Further away, you see a very familiar scene. The decapitation of the God King.
Tight.
By yourself.
How's my likeness?
It's perfect.
Is it my exterior form?
It's your exterior form.
Which ship is that?
It's just a ship. You see two men standing in a small circular pavilion, one dressed in white with very nice, what look like soft foot wraps, very this nice white flowy clothing, kind of kimono style tunic. Both of them seem to be holding each other's hands and they seem to be locked in this just moment of what looks like romance almost. And there's a stone path going through the middle of all of this, leaning ahead.
Two men, one was dressed in white?
Yes, both were dressed in white, sorry.
The area of us decapitating the God King, right?
Mm-hmm.
Has that got like pride of place?
Is it just like in amongst it all? It's just like randomly.
It just seems to be in amongst it all.
The hands, the two men holding hands.
Mm-hmm.
Human?
Looks it.
Distinctive.
Are you walking in?
Oh.
Walking.
Yeah. This wasn't a question.
Okay, sorry.
Nah, we're just at this point. We see all this and go, nah.
100% soundbait.
The moment you walk in, Sam and Finn, with your passive perception, you're probably the ones to notice that when you walk in, look behind you, the gate's gone. And this garden now just seems endless.
Oh, how is this organized?
What do you mean by garden? Like, how's the floor? Is it grass?
So it looks to be kind of gravelly almost, but there's no dust here.
What kind of trees and plants are there?
Trees and plants that you see all are part of something.
Oh, yes, cool.
You see a tableau of children that are climbing a tree. Don't seem to be significant children to you. It just seems to be an oak tree. Maybe this was a significant historical event. Maybe this is just some kids climbing a tree. No idea.
Can we see any other historical events other than the God King dying?
Specifically
that we know.
Specifically that we know, or I know.
You can. Anyone who's interested can roll perception checks.
Yes,
absolutely.
please.
Yeah.
I'm 100% dropping a peerless skill on this.
Yeah, go for it.
I want to see everything.
It's a natural 20.
My man.
Nax is barely aware of anything. Right.
It's just too much in
Overwhelming.
I'm
There's so
Yeah.
much happening.
16.
I'm
16?
quite broken. 15.
Okay.
16.
Okay. Iridium?
Sometimes it does.
24.
That made such a good noise.
It was very satisfying.
You see, interestingly, a large crystal frozen in time in a moment of shattering.
Yep.
And in front of it,
Figured that would have been an
long
event.
figure, long limbs, crystal shards growing out of the back, forever stuck in their death throes. You see what looks like parts of a village invaded by bandit. You see Denarian, forever frozen, opening a cage that has a small wolf pup in it. And you see Greggy go over to it and give it a total very confused.
How much younger does Denarian look?
That much younger. Less weathered.
He's not seen so much.
Less tree.
Exactly.
Less tree.
Less tree.
You see a small red-haired child with a bird in hand. But you also see completely events that seem almost insignificant, like just a farmer taking in hay. More ships, more boat. You also see what looks like this massive creature come out of the ground. Huge tentacles, an octopus-like beak, and a dragon that seems to fill the sky, trying to bite it.
Dope.
What
It's
color
part
dragon?
of this. Golden dragon.
You know it is.
What, gold? No.
No, Seathan's versus
Season's
the Kraken.
brass.
Is she?
Yeah.
Have I been living a lie?
Yes.
I have. I know, I've written this down.
Yeah. I
As
think
you
we
walk
correct ourselves every
further-
time.
Every time.
Yeah.
You start to hear shuffling noise occasionally.
Shuffling.
Are these
Yes,
changing?
Shuffling.
Shuffle.
Okay.
Every day I'm shuffling.
Now, everyone has been rolling a perception check. You were just out of the room, so give me one as well.
Do it. Just
Really?
so you know. No pressure or anything.
I'm going to enhance ability for wisdom.
Okay.
Ooh.
I also got a crit.
Hey! What's that?
Dirty.
Oh.
Eridrian. Ben. Reaper.
I see time itself.
As you're listening to the shuffling sound, looking around you, you see what looks like maybe a merchant vessel just frozen on this ground without water. You see over it one long leg emerge.
Oh.
This is moving.
What?
And then another long leg.
Like-
And another long leg.
So it's not knowledge.
Oh.
And you realize that it's covered the ship in a very thin white layer.
No.
That is where we will end.
I don't like that.
Was this